What is up, my beautiful gemstones? Welcome to Friday night's live intuitive oracle reading with myself and Ghostdragonzw. It is so good to be here. It has been a crazy week. Wednesday in particular was insane for me. Miss Pixie, I hope you're doing well and feeling better. Most of y'all probably noticed we didn't have the show last night. I just saw Miss Pixie pop in. That's why my focus went to her because I meant to text you today and ask if you were okay, but it was a crazy day. My little guy had off yesterday, off today for Rosh Hashanah. I don't know if everybody gets off for that, but Jersey definitely does because I remember having off for it when I was little. So there's that. There's also 6 half days and 2 more days off just in October. Pretty crazy. I had a whole bunch of stuff to announce to you guys, and I don't know where it went. As soon as I went live, it was like bing out of my head. So good to see you guys. Thank you so much for coming in. As always, if you have to leave early for any reason, let us know, and we will do our best to accommodate you. Miss Vera Ray. Oh, geez, vertigo. My mom dealt with that for so long, Miss Vera. If there is time, I will timestamp you. Mama Cindy Lee. Lotus Girl, deal with what you need to deal with. You know we got you. I mean, I do miss you in the chats, but I understand. I really do. Blue Crossroads. Yes. So glad you are here. The Bat Mom. CCW multi-state class. Awesome. I don't know what that is, but if it's something that empowers you or makes you feel good or like if more power to you. Amazing. Jared Crazy Indian. What is up? Aunt Edna. So, Jared, we did talk about the moderator thing. I just have to get on YouTube and do it, which I can do during the stream, no problem. They have Diddy for Tupac's murder. I'm going to have to look into that because the rumor started circulating a few months ago about that. And I was like, oh, I'm going to look into that. And then I never did. So I have to make a note of that because I do want to see if information I got years ago while channeling is in fact true. I got to write it down. Thank you, Aunt Anna. I wouldn't be surprised. Everyone thought Pac had something to do with Biggie's. And I personally, and I definitely have my reasons, believe that Puffy was responsible for Notorious B.I.G.'s unsolved case as well. Okay, we have Blue and Batmom. Melissa Nicole, what is up, girl? Miss Pixie, Mark Halstead, Richard Elmore, Candy B, Life with Bobby. I'm here, but I may not be too. Oh, gun carry permit. Nice. Okay, so you don't want it. All right, I just want to make sure because most people in here are moderators. You can be a silly mod. Yeah, YouTube did something really weird. So usually, like, when I set up a stream or a video, I think it's more the streams, though. And I forget, like, I haven't done this in years, but when I would forget to monetize it, I would go back to monetize it. And it would ask me, like, I'd have a list I'd have to answer. Does it contain, excessive profanity? Does it contain, and you have to go through this whole list and check off, no. And they monetize you. It did that when I went to monetize this, like just off the bat. So that means somebody is reporting that I'm talking about inappropriate things or being inappropriate on this stream, or YouTube's just being weird. And honestly, one way or the other, I wouldn't be surprised. Jason Finch, what is up? Thank you. Oh, I wanted to say, so last week we had maybe like 25, 30 readings. The minute I signed off, like ended the stream, I went back. What's up, Roger? And we had already had 164 views. So obviously the live streams are really working for me. This live stream in particular, I'm going to be doing way more than this, but in this vein on TikTok soon. But I'm, like I always tell you guys, I'm keeping this stream. But I also want to react. I want to react to paranormal videos and maybe some silly videos too, but I need to know how to do, I don't know how to do it. So I asked Ghost to look into it, and hopefully in the coming months, we can have some reaction videos. I think people would really enjoy those. I'm very expressive on my face. It's being a medium, but also like learning sign language in high school. You learn to like express with your face. So Anna, the only reason you shouldn't be allowed to comment on shorts is if I have the comments off. Normally I don't, but sometimes I have them off because I know I'm going to get trolled or something like that. If you can't comment, though, it has nothing to do with me. Just check to see that comments are on. Now, if other people are commenting and you specifically can't, I really don't know. Because I would never block you. I would talk to you first. But if I had blocked you from comments, you'd be blocked from the channel, which means you wouldn't be able to come in here. So others are commenting. I don't know. I don't know. Are you... Let me think about that. And I'm wondering, like, I don't know. I can't even think of a reason that would be. Because even people that come through, I know, like, if you come through Facebook, but you just got on Facebook, maybe, did you check to make sure you're subscribed? I mean, I really don't know what that would be. I definitely didn't do anything, so just be comforted by that. But I'm going to have to look into it. I could always email YouTube, and they should. Yeah, I see you on there a lot. YouTube gets back to me within like 3 days. I could ask them if there's something going on. Yeah, because unless they're off, you should definitely be able to comment. So Melissa Nicole said, go on your app store and make sure the YouTube app is up to date. Oh yeah, if I have issue with any of you guys, I would just talk to you privately. I don't like that because, you know, not only should you be able to comment, but like that interaction is like, it's a few cents, but it is money. So when you're blocked from commenting, that's blocking me from getting that revenue as well. So it is kind of a big deal because if it's happening with you, it's happening probably with a lot of people who just don't know how to reach me. Let me bring Ghosty in. Hi. Yeah, that's weird. I'm going to email.
My guess is you got to update it. And also, if you, with the slightest words with YouTube, what you have to do is if you leave a comment and it's not there, go up in that 3 little dots and click it and hit first. Not the one, top one, but click the first one. And sometimes that comment will pop up.
No, she said she can comment on other sites. And yeah, okay. I've been having that issue too. Jared, several of your oh, Smoochy, that's so awesome. Thank you. Jared, I was just going to say it. I didn't even see you say that before I brought it up. For some reason, I have to go in and personally click the little things because it'll say, oh, you have 3 comments, but I only see 2. I'll click. The third one is yours. You didn't say anything inappropriate. You didn't say anything, but there was something in what you said that hit the moderator thing or the whatever AI they use to filter through comments, and it blocked your comment from public view, but I can see it. So I try to respond to them so you can see that I saw it, but I don't know how that works. All right, guys. If nothing else, let's just jump right in tonight and get started. I will email YouTube and tell them that several people reached out and said they were having issues commenting. Yeah, and YouTube is, I can't wait until I'm doing more on other platforms. I love YouTube. It's where I got my start. I will always work on YouTube one way or the other. Like I'll always do this stream. I'll always do stuff on YouTube, but I really hope that I can be more successful on another platform, and YouTube could just be where I come to like have fun and do these things, because making money on YouTube is basically impossible. I already would technically be demonetized because I said that Tupac was murdered. Conspiracy, saying the M word, like they are so strict, so strict. And I'm sure that people report me basically every week. So yeah, you said MFers, and that's exactly how he spelled it in the comments.
I know.
So you did get my response back. I responded back and I'm like, YouTube hid your comment. Like, I don't know. Because usually when I go into the hidden comments, it's a troll being really nasty or mean. And I'm glad that YouTube hid them. Then you get the trolls that come in and tell me to start gas leaks in my house and make sure the windows are closed and the comments there for everyone to see. So one more thing, Life with Bobby says you may have to clear the cache on your device, restart your phone. Yeah, there's so many possibilities.
Yeah.
On that note, I told you guys I have some issues with like the animal people in my Facebook feed. A lot of them are Instagram videos. I can no longer comment. Like on almost any video on Facebook that came from Instagram, I must have got a lot of complaints. I was only saying things like, no, the dog is not wondering why its owner abandoned it. Or no, not that. Oh, like the dog isn't, how do I tell this dog that nobody from the adoption event was interested in it? And I put simple, tell it, it's a dog. It's not going to understand what you're saying. And they like go crazy. They go nuts. I'm getting attacked on YouTube. I don't care. It's a dog. It's not going to understand you. Yes, I do know that animals have feelings, but a dog does not understand. Oh, hey, buddy, look at this list. You have no one interested, and Pugsley over there has 3. Like, it's ridiculous. Okay, it's ridiculous. And when your cat is clawing out the eyes of your 5-year-old, it's not spicy. It's aggression, and it's dangerous. All right. It is a dog. Yes. Let's get started, guys. Who's first?
Bat Mom.
I'm going to use Wild Woman. Yeah, Life with Bobby. I don't know. Like, and I don't say it like I didn't start off saying it to be mean. Now I say it because I know it angers them. The simplest little thing. Like, this lady screaming at her toddler for getting into some paint. But the same lady has 40 videos of her dog ripping and tearing her house up. And she's like, oh, he's spicy. Meanwhile, her 2-year-old gets a spanking for getting into paint that she left out. But the dog can open the fridge and eat everything in sight, including the shelves, and like pee and poop everywhere. And that's funny. And they don't like that. So Bastet and Sekhmet. All right. Well, it's the cat people mainly, but the dog people too. I always thought I was a cat person until I started seeing those reels. I don't ever want, like, I don't even like cats anymore because of those people. They have ruined cats for me. Kittens, cats, I can't stand them. I don't want them around me. I do not like them anymore. All right. Card number 22, ferocious femininity. Do you suppress qualities you deem unfeminine or even too feminine? And if so, how can you begin to shape a more dynamic and unrestrained view of femininity that is unique to you? Hey, Kirby's, thank you. I don't know why I use this deck because this woman talks about the patriarchy so much and it's just annoying, but I'll get to the bottom of the message. Our patriarchal society does not promote a femininity that is at once gentle and strong, domestic and wild, humble and confident. Bastet and Sekhmet remind you that you are multifaceted and dynamic, and your true feminine power cannot be caged or fitted into a neatly defined box. In ancient Egypt, Bastet was the goddess of cats, protection, the moon, domesticity, pleasure, love, fertility, and motherhood. Many scholars believe that Bastet translate to either soul of Isis or she of the ointment jar. Sekhmet, the more ancient lioness-headed goddess of Upper Egypt, ruled over the sun, war, destruction, plagues, and healing. Her name stems from the ancient Egyptian word shaim, which means power or might, and she was often referred to as the powerful one, the one before whom evil trembles, and she who mauls. Batmom, although human beings began domesticating cats thousands of years ago, felines have retained much of their innate wild nature. Although they can be affectionate, symbolized by Bastet, who is often depicted as a domestic cat feeding her kittens or playing, Feelings are also fiercely independent and wild at heart, symbolized by Sekhmet, who is depicted as an untamed lioness ready to attack. Like felinity, femininity possesses qualities that have been deemed paradoxical by the patriarchy, and this has caused people, especially women, to struggle to embrace and embody all the gifts that true feminine power has to offer. So I don't really believe in like the patriarchy. But here we are, right? Batmom, I don't know what this has to do with like femininity. I don't think that's playing as big a role here as the card is depicting, right? I just feel like you're coming out of this place of making decisions, worrying about how everyone and their mama is going to feel about them. So a lot of us, even those of us like you, like myself, who have that IDGAF attitude, you know, I don't give an F word attitude, still do a lot of the times like care what people think, but we're just so used to being put down and like run into the ground that we tell ourselves we don't care and try to act as if, because it's easier than having to constantly deal with people being jerks. I don't know what's going on. So Batmom, I feel as though this is you finally understanding that there's what is happening. What is Batmom apologizing for? Ghost, do you know? I'm asking a question here and I'm in the middle of a reading.
No, I think she just accidentally blocked her.
Oh, I'm sure she'll be fine. Life with, I don't know if she can even hear us. Yeah, we have to be really careful. That happens a lot in here, guys, but it's an accident. I'm sure she'll understand. She's seen it happen to other people.
She's in now, I think.
I will verbally, after the reading, tell her to come back in that it was an accident. I feel like Batmom, you're finally starting to understand that you're going to have your own dynamic about yourself and that it shouldn't matter what other people think about that. Not that you want to go out of your way to make people uncomfortable or to make people have this reaction to you. Some people definitely, Life with Bobby. Hello, welcome back. It was probably like a 10-second timeout. Some people definitely do. Some people are like, I'm going to say the craziest thing and I want people to negatively react so I can go at them and I can teach them something. You know, they need to educate themselves. I really don't care to be around people like that. I don't think that's what this is. I feel like this is you just deciding that you no longer want to play this game of like, when I hang out with this person, I've got to act this way. When I hang out with that person, I better behave this way. And it's like, this is who I am, and depending on how I'm treated, depending on each situation is how I'm going to be. I don't think you're really trying anymore to put on this facade or put on this fake face. So in the next couple of weeks, I feel like that's what the universe is telling you. That's what your team's telling you. You don't have to please all of the people all of the time, especially when it comes to decisions you're making about your life. If you're happy in your decision, make that decision. And the people who are meant to be drawn to you and meant to be in your life and meant to be a part of it will. And yes, we're going to lose people along the way, but whoever we lose wasn't meant to stay in the first place. What's up, Jarvis? Yeah, 9 out of 10 have timed someone out by mistake. I was just very confused because Life with Bobby immediately said something. So I was like, Batmom, to be honest, I thought you said something mean to her and then decided that it was mean. That's kind of why I was like, what happened? Yeah, so Batmom says that's the hard part. I always second guess my decisions. It's okay to second guess yourself. Everybody does that. But I feel like if you would just like really think, I don't want to say every single tiny decision through, but like the big decisions, think it through. And whatever works for you, be confident in that. Be confident and understand, like, there is a reason I am making this decision, even if it's wrong. And that's a hard thing to come to terms with, I think. Like, understanding that sometimes we are drawn to making the wrong decisions because it ends up being, in the long run, the right thing. I hope that that makes sense to you. And in the coming weeks, I feel like it's really going to. You're opening up spiritually, but for yourself, for your own sanity, for your own being able to move forward with confidence without constantly worrying about who might be mad if you say this opinion, who might not want to talk to you anymore if you agree with this. I on Wednesday I got into a small argument with someone. They kind of really screwed me over, and I said to them, you didn't even say you're sorry. And they were like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now I said it 3 times. And I said, yeah, but you do the same exact thing to me every time I ask you for anything. And you could always say, no, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. Go F yourself. Like, anything but okay. And I said, and you always do this to me, the same thing. And you always say you're sorry after I point out that you didn't say it. So I started to cry, and I had on my big sunglasses, and I said, apology without change is manipulation. This person then proceeded to turn around and say, yes, and the Emancipation Proclamation under the moon in Virgo, because the therapist at the time was manipulating the gaslighter. Basically mocking what I do for a living and calling me an idiot. They were repeating a lot of big words that I use in this stream. So that made me question, and it was meant to make me question my success on my channel, made me question, am I making the right decisions? Am I really making a difference here? Because this person knows that those things are very important to me. And if I ever get to a point where I feel like I'm not helping anybody or that nobody's listening, I'm going to have to figure something else out. Right? But this person knew that I would be quiet and stop talking because 1, they know that I don't like them hearing me cry. And number 2, they knew I was so upset that I was either going to start screaming or completely and totally shut down, because it's always one of the 2 with me. It's either I'm going to rip your head off or I'm just not going to say anything. So they essentially cut the situation off at the head, knowing that if they just mocked me instead of being accountable, I would shut up. It worked. It worked like a charm. They played me like a violin. All right. Who is next? Bat Mom, you're fine. You're on the right track. Just make sure when making decisions to the best of your ability, and you'll get better at this as you go along, of telling yourself, like, I'm comfortable with this. I feel like this is going to work out for the best. Not, is my mom going to be mad? Okay, what about Aunt Sue? All right, Aunt Sue, my husband may not like this, so do I want it? This is going to sound selfish, but it's about what Bat Mom feels is right for Bat Mom. That's it. And that is a hard thing to get into, and to like a hard habit to get into. But you'll get there. It does get easier. Trust me. I used to be afraid to wear my wigs out for fear of judgment. And now, like, I don't like going anywhere without them. And if I want to wear a wig, I wear one. It doesn't matter who doesn't like it. It doesn't matter who makes fun of me. And I do have someone who makes fun of me every time I wear a wig. They call it the rat's nest on my head, nappy ass wig. Knowing this person knows that I'm basically balding. And that's one of the reasons I wear them. Doesn't matter. Thank you, Miss Pixie. All right. Yeah, Anna, for sure. Lara, thank you so much. All of you are such big supporters of this channel and this stream specifically. And I just can't thank you enough. My members specifically too, because I'm not able right now to do much for you guys, even though there is a lot on the plate for the future for members and patrons. Trust me, I've got ideas up here. All right, who's next?
Miss Cindy Lee.
Hello, Mama Cindy. I did say hi to you, but I don't think you were back in yet. All right, Mama Cindy, what are we going to do for you today? I'm going to use heal yourself. Oh, Miss Pixie. I mean, that would be so amazing. You guys are all very generous with me, to the best that you can be, living like in the reality we live in. I just appreciate all of you so much. I really do. Smoochie membership right now, there's some videos that are members only. I'm trying to get 20 members. And when I get 20, I'm going to do a short live stream throughout the week. And
I want the first picture, though. I want the first picture.
I was shocked at the response I got from men over that costume, considering it literally covers every inch of my body, including my fingernails. And men just went nuts when I showed that costume I'm wearing. I mean, great. I love that you guys love it. And I will definitely post photos in the community tab because RJ is being Deadpool. Spider Gwen or Gwenpool. I don't know I think it's Gwenpool. There's Ghost Spider and then there's Gwenpool. And I'm convinced they're the same person because it's the same costume. Spirit, human spirit. Okay, got you, Smoochie. I was like, which spirit deck, girl? I have 2 additional Fae decks out today that I don't normally use. Yeah, she definitely is. Fortnite is what I didn't know she existed until she's in Fortnite now. And when little guy said he wanted to be Deadpool, I'm like, well, the other moms, or at least one other mom, she's dressing up as a Scarlet Witch. And a bunch of us moms are getting together with all the kids and going Halloweening or trick-or-treating or souling, whatever you call it, together. And all the kids, for the most part, I think we have a couple princesses in there, are dressing up as Avengers characters or at the very least superheroes. Miss Pixie, I have one in mind for you already. The Wild Wisdom of the Fae. You're actually the reason I opened it. Marvel for a very long time. See, I didn't know. I'm more of a DC person. I started reading, I read Mad Love in like 92, 91 when Harley was first introduced, and she was only supposed to be a one-time character for that one comic, Mad Love. I fell in love with her. I was so happy when she became a staple in the DC universe. But then what happened was the Suicide Squad in 2015. Now she's so trendy. Everyone loves her. I promise you, if you spoke to me in 2009, 1998, like I knew who she was. I collected her merchandise, and she was very expensive at the time because she was so unknown. Yeah. Now anybody can go and buy anything of her for, you know, cheap. I remember just a fitted hat of her, I paid $45 for.
Yeah, the comic book was her first appearance, but her original first appearance was on the Batman animated series. She was created for that series.
For one episode. And then No, if you read it, they say that she was only meant to be in one episode or one comic, but people were so responsive to her that they put her in the whole series and started making the comments. Thank you, Jason. I mean, Stephen, I'll tell you what, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am, but I got to look into it. All right. Mama Cindy, have faith, card number 22. Well, my son Damien, who's going to be 20 on Wednesday, originally asked me to dress up as one of the people from House of Dragons, and he was going to be the guy, Damon, and I was going to be Damon's wife. I know that's weird because I'm his mom, but not really. It's just a cute thing we wanted to do. And I got the costume ready to purchase. I'm just waiting to hear back from him to make sure he actually wants to do that, because we were going to do that for my sister's Halloween party. Her costume's only like $20, so it's not a lot. All right, Mama Cindy. Faith requires you to believe in something that is not yet evident to the naked eye. To generate more faith, focus on the why, your dreams, desires, feelings, attitudes, and thinking, and not on the how. Action plan, strategies, and skills. Excuse me. Your whole life you have been taught to think about the how, which leads to doubt and fear. The wisdom of this card is asking you to only focus on the why. The magic that will happen if you stop focusing on the how and only on the why is that after some time of practice, you will notice that the how will present itself to you. It's through your focused, positive thinking that you will create people, circumstances, and events that will take you closer to your dreams. What you have mostly done is to focus on the how, which has made you doubt yourself. This means that you are vibrating negative thoughts into the universe, keeping your dreams away. Remember, you were created to be a co-creator here on Earth, designed for achievement. Faith is knowing that everything is going to work out the best possible way, no matter what things look like. So again, this is talking about, hey, what's up? Yeah, what is everyone going to be for Halloween this year? This is talking about too of like I was just talking to Bat Mom Cindy, making decisions based on what you feel to be the right decision and not worrying about like anything long term. And that's kind of hard because like we make a decision in the moment. Most of the time we can foresee how it could eventually affect us positively or negatively. For example, if I vend at Para Unity, that should and could very well help me move forward. If I choose to skip Para Unity altogether and don't go there and hobnob with people, it's probably going to dampen my celebrity because I'm not there rubbing elbows, right? That's a small example, but I think you guys understand. Mama Cindy, whatever your biggest goal is, your big dream here, right? This is the universe telling you, and this doesn't always happen, that it will come to fruition. You're on the right path. Yes, Queen Rhaenyra. You're on the right path. You're on the right track. But you're putting too much thought into it. And the universe is saying, go with what feels right. What makes the most sense to you? And you will see your life come alive with people coming and going and opportunities presenting themselves. And, you know, before, and I'll use myself as an example, when I first started YouTube, when I was not using it as a career and was just kind of using it as an outlet to get out here and have fun, job opportunities fell into my lap, literally fell into my lap. Now that I'm dependent on YouTube to make a living and support myself and my son, nada. Why? Because now I'm so focused on the end goal, which is the money, instead of being focused on having fun, putting myself out there. And if the money comes, it comes. And that's something that I'm working on myself, to like have more fun with what I'm doing and stop taking it so seriously. And I feel like Miss Cindy Lee, that is what the universe is telling you. Have fun with it. If it's something very serious that you really can't be lighthearted about, follow your intuition. Yes, Miss Pixie brings up a good point. If you guys can, and I know things are tight, so Miss Pixie is going to send me what she can, and guys, every little bit helps to help me. Now, my hotel, I can't just stay in like a random shack because I am going to have RJ with me. So it has to be, it's not like, I'm not looking for like 5-star suites, guys. I'm just looking for like a nice place that you can get breakfast in the morning and that I know nobody's going to be breaking into my room, right? The least amount of money I saw for the dates came to about, I think it was like $350, but that's for both nights. Plus you think taxes and stuff like that. So anything you guys could donate to PayPal or Cash App, if you can only donate through YouTube, that's great. That'll come in my paycheck next month, but it's not really going to help me towards Para Unity. And Miss Pixie, that's why I said to you, like, that is a lot of money. Anything you can send, totally appreciate it. It's all going to be put aside until I have all of it and can just book. I have faith that I will come up with that money because I feel like I am meant to be there this year. I feel like there's something big that's happening for me, something having to do with Para Unity. I hate the way my wig is slipping right now. Sorry, guys. I keep thinking I'm seeing my real hair, but I'm actually not. It's part of the hair, and I'm backwards because I'm in a camera. Let me just read. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot about all different things, but bear with me. Try to have some fun with any decisions you make, and regardless, make the decisions that's going to make you happy. We are here for our soul's ascension, but if we can be happy in the meantime, let's do it. And I do see a golden opportunity here for you. Blue Crossroads says, you're not wrong, Gemma Jade and Ghostdragonzw. She was in the animated series for one episode. then a comic for one episode. Got it. I don't know. I thought I knew that. Like, I was pretty proud of that fact because I was like, yeah, I know about it. That's my girl. Actually, my name on Facebook for years until that movie came out was Harley Q Monroe. That was also the name I modeled under. So everyone was like, who is Harley? And I remember one person thought my name was Harvey. And I was like, Harley Quinn. Like, everyone was like, oh, Harley Davidson. I'm like, no, Harley Quinn. Now people hear Harley and they mainly go to her. But back then, even like 2014, 2015. All right. What's his face says, you're scaring me. What's his face? I couldn't think of his name. Chris says, you're scaring me now. What happened? Mike J, what is up, baby? UFO. Oh, thank you, Jason. Thank you. I don't know where the tube stock came in. Is there something I'm missing? I don't know. Harvey Dent. Yes. I remember my ex's sister was like, did you have that girl Harvey over here last night? And he's like, Harvey? And she's like, why is her name Harvey? And he's like, it's Harley. We were drunk a lot. Happiness makes the transition and energy come faster. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. So I've been taking a little time out. I haven't been doing as much for the channel because I've really been trying to focus on just having fun with what I'm doing. And I know that something big is coming for me. I've known it for the last year. I don't let that knowledge scare me anymore. Now I embrace it. I'm like, well, whenever you're ready. Who's next? Baby UFO comes from a mothership. Yes.
Blue.
I read it like you were having a cookout with them as the entree. Blue, I'm going to use Urban Crow. Guys, I'm going to, after this stream, take all my decks off my table, switch them up so that the same ones aren't on top every week, and I don't just go for the top ones, because I've been being moved to like pull some oldies but goodies out, ones you don't see me use every week, maybe ones a lot of you don't even know that I have. I do have 250 decks, and I only have about 100 stacked here on my table. So I'm going to go through them, pull out some newbies, because I love our decks, our trusty decks that we use every week. But I also feel like it's time to branch out a little bit. Harvey, the movie with, I think, Jimmy Stewart is what comes to mind when I hear Harvey. So I binge watched seasons 2 and 3 of that 90s show last week, and whatever. Like, it's so nostalgic for me because we used to hang out in my friend Dylan's basement. I was like in tears so many times just thinking like, oh my gosh, I miss raves and like the weird way we dressed. Yes, Miss Pixie, that is an amazing idea. I am going to do that for sure. New Salem, I didn't get to see it yet. Is the New Salem's Lot a show or a TV show or a movie? You're muted.
It's a movie.
Okay. I'm going to watch that. If I don't have HBO, which I think I do, because I think that's how Damien watches Game of Thrones and House of Dragon. If I don't, I'm just going to use yours. 34. Nutslap better get his butt in here. No, they did not cancel it. No. Leia was just moving to Point Place to go to school with the rest of them. Hey, Adam. It really depends on how many people we have to read for, but I talk a lot. So we should be here till at least 10:30. If you want to get on the list and then come back in, Jarvis, I'm going to have to check that out. I'm just going to have to make up what happened in my head then. Dang it. I was so excited because when I had looked for it last, there was only season 1. So there were 2 whole seasons to watch. Yes, Eastern time. All right, Blue, you got card number 34, the card of observation. The crow watches the spider, intrigued by how it catches its meals. Oh, one thing, Adam, if you want a reading after I do Blue's reading, I can just do a reading for you real quick if you have to go. No, I don't think anyone in here will mind waiting 5 minutes for me to do a reading for you. The crow watches the spider, intrigued by how it catches its meals. The crow could simply pluck that spider right up, but instead it decides to learn a little bit first. Observation asks that you hold back from reacting and take some time to analyze your situation. There may be something of value that will not only reveal itself, Oh, I'm sorry. There may be something of value that will only reveal itself if given the time. This card may also indicate that you would be better served by being a spectator and staying out of a particular situation. You will learn more from listening than from talking. So, okay, that's pretty cut and dry. Thank you, Chris. That's pretty cut and dry, but I feel like you're feeling your emotions, right? And I think that you're a guy who like knows how to handle your emotions. I don't ever really, I mean, everybody gets angry, everyone yells every once in a while, but I don't see you as that guy, like the person that does that often, right? Like I can't imagine Steven flipping out and like yelling, but I imagine it has happened because he's a human being, right? I've seen him angry like twice, but like it's always so quick. I feel like you have that same quality about you. But I feel like what's happening here is there are emotions being stirred up that maybe you haven't dealt with before, you haven't dealt with in a really long time. And instead of like trying to figure out how to go through them, or the figuring out of how to work through them is making you like you're pissed, right? And it's like you're not pissed in a way that you want to rage at anybody. You're pissed in this way of like, I know I'm missing something. I do not have all of the information. And the universe is telling you, you are exactly right. You do not have all the information. This is your intuition on point telling you, sit back and listen. Oh, they're home. Sit back and listen. Or I'm sorry, that distracted me. Sit back and listen for the 5th time. And what's missing that like what you're not aware of will reveal itself. I don't want to say the truth will reveal itself because I don't feel like anyone's lying to you. I just feel like they're not talking to you about some things that are happening that they really should be, because I feel like whatever this is, like you've been pretty involved, right? And I just feel like for whatever reason, this person or these people, I'm getting 2 separate energies where this is going on. So this could be 2 different people. Or it could be the same person, but 2 separate situations. That's much less likely. Blue, just deal, take a deep breath, musa a tiny bit longer, and the truth will be revealed. And then you can talk to the person and figure out where to go from there. I just feel like the energy I'm getting of the other person is like this scared, traumatized, fragile, broken energy. I don't know. And I know that when I normally see that energetic imprint, it is people who don't want to talk. They don't talk about their feelings often. And if they do, it's in a very superficial way. The less you say, the better in the next 2 weeks, and see what comes through, see what comes out. This doesn't mean don't express yourself. This doesn't mean allow yourself to be kicked around or bullied or manipulated or treated like poop. Just be understanding in the moment, show your patience, and see where the other person takes it, right? I feel like this is a make or break situation. Adam, do you see my positive changes and increase in my energy? I'm going through some challenges. All right, let me pull a card for you and we'll take it from there, okay? We're going to use Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. Hey, Miss Divine Empathic. All right, Batmom, come back if you can. Love you too. All right, Adam, let's see. Can you put his question back up there, please? Thank you, sweetheart. Sometimes I just hear like random words for no reason, just screamed. All right, Adam, let's see what's going on. Do you see my positive change? Whoa, an increase in my energy. Come on. Work with me. You got Valkyrie, the card of choice. I'm going to read to you what the book says, and then I'll interpret it for you. Boy, your phone rings more than mine would if I didn't have a do not disturb on. This is card number 12, or no, I'm sorry, 42, and it is a dangerous card. Yeah, when just one flips out, and I'll take it. It's always like the case where it's like 3 or 4, though, and I'm just like, Honey, please keep his question on the screen just so I can go back to it and try to answer it. I figured I'm going to start doing that. I should have told you that. All right, Adam. You have control over yourself only, and you can choose your thoughts and your actions. It's never too late to change. See that? You can transform your fears. Be courageous, even though you might still be fearful. The battlefield of the ancient Norse was not a pretty place. For Viking warriors upon the battlefield, the incentive to fight bravely until death was what came after. While we often hear the idea of our lives flashing before us at the time of death, what Norse warriors hoped would be there was most likely, and for some hopefully, a beautiful yet terrible Valkyrie. Valkyries took the form of women in battle dress, sometimes winged, often on a mighty horse, eyes flashing and singing a song of blood and glory. The Valkyries were the choosers of the slain and were present at every battle in the Norse legends. Their primary service was to select the most worthy and bravest of the dead warriors, the Einherjar, and spirit them to the Valhalla with the god Odin, or to reside with the goddess Freya in her hall, the Folkvanger, which means in Norse, battlefields. Hello, my account. Interesting name. Hi. Welcome to the Island of Misfit Toys. Adam, there are Valkyries. No, I read that wrong. Oh, there, the Valkyries would joyfully serve the Einherjar mead until their final battle, Ragnarok, alongside the gods. While there was the idea that the Valkyries were beautiful and incandescent in appearance, the older descriptions referred to them as Odin's ravens, dark black in clothing, screaming wildly and dripping in blood. Later, they became much more beautiful and benevolent, still powerful, yet almost a kind of reward for supreme bravery and dying for tribe. The choice of dying for others, of not running away, of protecting a colleague, or of choosing courage, even though they may have been full of fear, is the power of the Valkyries rewarded. They're urging to exhibit courage in the way we enact our lives and to release ourselves from the heavy bounds of regret are powerful lessons to learn. So your plant companion for the next 2 weeks is Arctic Time, and your crystal companion is Ruby. Well, we're happy to have you, my account. And if you want a reading, just let us know and we'll get you on the list. So normally I try not to answer specific questions in this stream because I'm only doing one card. I do offer personals for that. So Adam, let me see what your team has to say about this. Okay, you are definitely consciously making an effort, from what I see, to positively change in several areas of your life. And I feel like the reason I'm seeing change in so many areas is because you yourself are changing you. I feel as though, and if this doesn't resonate now, it will in the next 2 weeks, you'll see it. You're finally starting to understand, like, you can only control what you say, what you do, what you do with your feelings, and you cannot force anything upon anyone else. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean you were trying to force something on someone, but there could have been a situation where you had an expectation, right? What I'm seeing here is like a high expectation that someone did not meet. And you had that expectation because they kind of put it out there. That's like someone saying, run away with me. I'll buy us a house and take care of you for the rest of your life. So the expectation is this person's going to take care of you. And then within a year, they're not paying any bills and you're living in squalor. They negated that expectation. They did not live up to it, but it wasn't your fault for having it. I keep getting distracted by chat. Your energy, your vibration is definitely raising. I feel as though in the next 2 weeks, you're being tested to a degree. And now you can't really fail these types of tests. You'll just have to repeat the same mistakes over and over until you learn, right? It's going to be how you react and respond to disappointment, particularly, right? To other people and like letdowns and failures in general, but to disappointments. Is being disappointed going to make you stop and let your ego, edging God out, your fear, stop you from going forward anyway? I feel like you have so many things you want to do now that you're starting to understand this concept of spiritually elevating, of being in control of self, of living and let live, right? But it's like, how are others going to perceive you? I do feel there's someone in your life that's manipulated you a lot, and they are not going to be happy about these changes, and they're going to try to get their claws in you, so to speak. You are finally strong enough spiritually, emotionally, energetically, psychically, physically even, to put a stop to this, because you have finally vibrated high enough to now you're aware of what was going on. This person was manipulating you, whether it was subtly or flat out. You are finally able to be in a place of self-love where you can walk away from that and know that you deserve better. You are absolutely doing big things. Just keep your eye on the prize being spiritual elevation, understanding, and understanding that the way people behave usually has nothing to do with you, even if you're directly involved. If someone starts yelling and screaming at you when they're angry, just because you did something inadvertently to make them angry, they don't have to react that way. You're in control of your feelings. You're in control of your words, right? You got this. Please let me know how it goes. So my account, you said to shout you out. I don't know your name, so I'm just going to say my account, welcome. I already shouted you out. I already welcomed you. I already said hello. I am going to use the restroom after Jared Crazy Indian. Jared, do you want a card or not, hon?
He may have stepped away. If you want to go to the bathroom now, go do that now. And maybe he'll be back when you come in.
Blue, that is awesome. And keep me posted. Yeah.
Okay, Jared, if you can hear me, you're next. If you want a card, let us know. I'm going to put you on hold if she comes back and you haven't answered. And the next person will be Edna. Then after Edna will be Mr. Mark. Then Melissa, if you're still here, hon, you'll be after Mark. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. I hope everybody has a good weekend. And that's about all I have to say today. And you're here. Okay, Melissa. I figured you were back there running around somewhere, being a good little bacon dragon. I wish I could say the same. And I know you're here, Mark. I think Jared said he was stepping away, so I may just put him on hold until he comes back. Sometimes he wants a card, sometimes he doesn't. So we'll just put him on hold. I know you're not really here, Edna. But then again, are we really ever really here? Oh, you're lurking, you're not ghosting, huh? Okay. Just trying to make sure. My account, if you want a reading, let me know, and I'll squeeze you in if this is your first time. If not, let me know if you don't want one. And she's back, so back to silence.
Hi.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and do Edna.
Yeah, and I'm going to use the deck you got me. Oracle of the Radiant Sun. I'm going to text Nutflap if he's not in here, and Netter soon. Oh, and Deb. I've got to text Deb because she forgets that it's Friday. Kind of here, kind of there, kind of a little bit of everywhere. So remember, this doesn't mean necessarily that the card I pull is in your chart, but it does mean that this is the energy coming in for you in the next couple of weeks. I love this deck. It's really informative. It's one of the most informative decks that I have. Ghosty, I see you. I was thinking the same thing, hun. Private chat. You're muted, so.
Yes.
There might be another hurricane coming towards the United States, about to head north from Mexico into the ocean. Dimensional Legend, by the way, hello. So I am really upset. I'm not going to get political. I never do on my channel, but I just feel like we send aid to foreign countries a lot more than we should, in my opinion. You know, my best friend lives in Tennessee. And luckily she's fine. But as she drives down the street to her store where I've offered to overnight her things like toilet paper and stuff they may be out of, there are bodies in the street that they are saying they want to just bulldoze over. What's going on? Nope, I didn't see anything like that, Batmom. We're on alert, though. Don't worry. All right, Anna, you got the card of fulfillment. Card number 9, and it is, I believe that's Jupiter in Sagittarius. I gotta really, I got it right. Oh, no, I didn't. What is this? The little H is Saturn in Sagittarius. I know the, obviously like the astrological signs, but if you look, there's the astrological sign and the planetary sign. And the planets, I just don't know. I know the sun and the moon. And Mars. I know Mars because it looks like an arrow. So this is ambition, optimism, and adventure. Oh, Smoochie, you said it. You absolutely said it. Common sense is not common, and humanity isn't really human. That's why we as a collective, and again, not talking about false positivity, but we as a collective really have to push our positivity out there, and we can't let it get us down. I've been in a slump the past few days. I have not talked to anybody. I have just kind of turned in on myself because I've been really upset about so many things. The school once again lost my 6-year-old for the second time this year, and he's only been in school a month. You know, I called and I was like, hey, I'm going to be late, not going to be home when he gets off the bus. I was in traffic on the way back from my doctor. I was like, do not let him get on the bus. No one will be there. I'll pick him up. My husband and I will pick him up from the school. She's like, yeah, no problem. We called. We're like, we're 3 minutes away from the school. Please have him ready. She's like, oops, he got on the bus. Okay. And Edna, she said it was his fault if he didn't hear his name called. He's 6. For Sagittarians, the areas of life in which Saturnian discipline and responsibility find most fulfillment is the quest for knowledge and truth. Oddly enough, I do think my Saturn is in Sagittarius. People with this combination are intellectually proud and have a strong desire to be accepted as an authority in any specialized field. Philosophy and religion are of great importance to Saturn Sagittarians, and they speak out for the sick and are conscientiously and they speak out for and stick conscientiously to their own moral code. The planet Saturn gives the ambition of Sagittarius a solid sense of achievement and injects reality into the archer's natural optimism. The negative side of people with this planet sign combination can be a self-righteous attitude that attempts to impose its philosophy and ethics on others. This can defeat the Sagittarian's strong need for personal reputation. There can be bluntness in Saturn-Sagittarian manner, which, although prompted by honesty, may have little concern for other people's feelings. However, hypocrisy is not something Saturn-Sagittarians are comfortable with, and they may prefer to settle for the wrath of the offended. Long-distance travel, particularly for business on any of the above activities, can be successful and quite lucrative for Saturn-Sagittarians. Likewise, dealings with foreign people or companies. Usually, when this card turns up in a reading, Edna, it indicates a successful culmination to the ambition or business venture. This usually has something to do with a contract in a foreign country. Don't worry about it. An important business trip, an international conference, acquiring a reputation abroad, the effects of major faux pas. Okay, faux pas, whatever it's called. So I don't believe that you are Smoochie, I agree. And you're from Louisiana, so you can definitely say that and nobody should say anything to you. But okay, listen. And I don't feel like you're traveling overseas. Now, you could end up in the next couple of weeks to like a month or two, I'm seeing. And this happens when I read for people over and over, like again and again. I get to like tend to see longer distances with them sometimes. This card is telling me that there could be someone foreign entering your life that's like a soul connection. So by foreign, I mean like someone cliche, someone with an accent, someone not from here, or it could simply be somewhere or someone not from like around where you are, right? So like in that example, if I came to visit you in where you live, and I don't want to say because I don't know if you've ever put it publicly, if I come from New Jersey to the state you live in, that would, in this sense, be considered I'm a foreigner. So I do feel like you have a soul connection coming in with somebody who is foreign to where you are. I also feel there's 3 separate messages here. So the second message is I feel like someone could be, and it could be this foreigner or it could be someone else, they're trying to change your idea of something or your ideals about something. They're really pushing something on you that you are just not willing to accept, which leads into the third thing. I feel like your bluntness is going to offend someone in the next couple of weeks, and you're not going to give a rat's booty hole because you were standing up for something you believed in, for someone you believed in, or you were standing up for yourself. You are not, this is not you going out of your way to be rude or obnoxious. This is you coming off that way because the person that is trying to push their agenda on you isn't used to people being so honest. So yes, your honesty could get you in a little bit of hot water in the next couple of weeks, but this card is saying don't stifle yourself. You are feeling fulfilled in being who you are. And the universe is saying you're fine. This person needs to hear what you have to say and needs to feel this feeling from your honesty. We can't all run around, and I want to use a crazy example, but if I use a crazy example, it's literally stuff that's happening. So it wouldn't even be crazy, and it would sound like I'm making a political statement. So let's just say, for example, your friend believes in marrying dogs, and she wants you to set up, this is crazy, but she wants you to set up a dog wedding for her, and she wants you to officiate because her dog's name is Bob, and he is her best friend in the world. She has conversations with him. Everyone around her is pretending like this is a great idea, except you. This person needs to be brought to reality, and I feel like you are inadvertently going to just honestly say you're joking, right? I mean, we can't continue to perpetuate others' delusions. And I feel like once the collective understands that, the world is going to change for the better. It's better to be honest within ourselves and speak the truth than to, perpetuate mental illness, or even like in the example I gave you, maybe the person's just going through something and they're lonely. Your honesty is going to get you in hot water, but I don't think you're going to give a lick. People in Middle East marry ghosts. I'm trying to be careful what I'm saying here because I'm not speaking politically. This is not me talking about like transition, like nothing like that. I'm trying to use the silliest example I can think of, though I'm sure it's happened. I mean, you remember Jerry Springer, right? And I've become the same way. I used to be very quiet. I used to let people push me around. And I read the room, right? If I feel like someone's going to be violent, if I don't comply and say, yeah, Bob is so nice, I just had a conversation with him, I'm obviously going to do that, right? Because I don't want to put myself in danger. But otherwise, I'm going to be like, girl, is you crazy? You need a vacation. Leave Bob at home, kennel Bob, and we'll go find you a man, right? So like, I don't feel like you're out to hurt anybody. You are just honest. You're not going to change. You're set in that way. That is not a bad way to be set in. You good. Keep an eye out for this foreign person. Again, I'm hearing an accent, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to have one. It just shows me that they are not from where you are. The accent could be like mine. Paradox fossils. I don't know if you like some. I'm sorry, Stephen, go ahead. I was going to say on Facebook, I put this meme up and it said, when they waiting for you to fail, but you a goat. And it had like all these goats sticking themselves to the side of mountains and not falling. I guess goats do that. Unleash my inner psycho. Girl, that's why I don't leave my house. My phone does this thing. I didn't know until like right before stream. I just happened to see it, where it tells me like where I've gone in the last month or the last 3 months, how many miles I've traveled, each and every individual place I went to. I went to Kohl's once. It said I traveled the most on September 19th. Yeah, I met my son 40 minutes away for dinner and went home. I went to ShopRite in the last year 50 times, or I think it was 6 months. I'm sorry, 50 times. And it was saying how like all these places I went. ShopRite, the buffet I went with my son, and Kohl's in the last 3 months. Doing pretty good. I don't like to go out because I see things that I don't like. And I don't feel it's my place to say anything if it's not directly affecting me. But at the same time, I think of how some of these things are going to affect my children and my eventual grandchildren. All right, who's next?
Mr. Mark.
You need to do that. Mark, I'm going to use Sacred Forest. Yes, Google Life with Bobby. I just saw it. I didn't really get to check it out too much, but I did just see it. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And it shows you like the pictures you took while you were at that place. Paradox, if you would like a reading, let us know. Baby UFO, just be yourself. Don't cuss or say anything that YouTube would deem inappropriate, and you're fine. Mark, you got the Crystal Cave. This deck loves you, by the way. I feel like it's so fitting to you. I have to fix my lights, guys. I don't like the way it's... Okay, there we go. It's much better. This deck, like, resonates with your energy. If I had to pick a deck for you, it would be this one. All right, Paradox, if you have to leave at any time, let us know. Otherwise, you're on the list. Just chill. All right. Guys, please don't forget if you could help and donate to my hotel fund for Para-Unity on PayPal or Cash App. I really would appreciate it. I definitely need the help to get the hotel. Mark, you stand before the cave, but you can't see in. Although you don't know what to expect, certitude is rising within you. You know that you are meant to go forward. You know that you are safe. You take a deep breath in and then take the first step. Caves have long been considered secret passageways to sacred powers and forces. Certain shamanic initiations occurred in caves because they were thought to be places where your intuition could be activated. The appearance of this card is a message to believe in your intuition no matter where it takes you. Have faith in yourself and know that you're divinely guided, even when you have doubts. Trust your feelings about others and about situations. You're exactly where you need to be. Trust is the foundation of the ability to manifest. Everything was created because someone believed that it was possible, and patience is absolutely crucial in the application of this principle. Change can happen in a heartbeat, but some things require time. Please be patient, Mark, and know that it will happen. Whatever receives your care and attention will flourish. Believe. You've planted your seeds. Now give them time to grow. In cultures throughout the world, the cave represents the womb, a source of life. They are where early humans sought shelter and protection. In the depth of the cave, know that you are safe and you are protected. The spirit of the crystal cave says you can let go and allow your clear, focused intuition to flow freely. Follow the nudges from your soul, listen to others, but trust your instinct. I know, Anna, it does have the thing on it, but I never had to pin it before. I think because my hair is so long now, it's moving all around. Next week, because I'm hoping to have a haircut by then. It's just that my hair is so long. All right. I was able to get away with it for like a year. Mark, there's something here I feel like that you could be feeling, if not now, in the next couple of weeks. You could be feeling like, not that you failed, but that like you might as well give up on this idea or this wish or dream. Because if it hasn't happened yet, it's not going to happen, right? But the universe is saying that is not true. If you're putting actionable steps behind something, and if you continue, like take yourself out of this negative mind frame of like giving up, this is it. If it hasn't happened yet, it's not going to happen. And put yourself in a mind frame of this is going to be really amazing when it does happen. You're putting that energy out there of like, bring it to me. It literally is like holding your hands out to receive. When we doubt and we give up and we lose faith or hope or whatever it is, even just for a second, it's like going like this and turning away so that when it's handed to us, we can't see. Mark, I feel like you have, even if you haven't done anything physically, like physically worked, right? I feel like you've still put so much spiritual energy into attaining, creating whatever this is for yourself. And I do feel like it's a big part of your life. I'm going to use a relationship as an example. You are hoping to have another relationship in your life and have someone love you romantically in that way. Just an example. And you're like, you know what? Forget it. Like every time I try to talk to a woman, She wants nothing to do with me in that way. She friend zones me. The universe is saying, no, believe in yourself. You have a lot to offer. Good. Make sure you don't. I feel like the reason you might in the next couple of weeks, the reason your team is concerned that you don't is because somebody is going to come in and plant a seed in your head that either you're not good enough, you haven't done enough, it's impossible. And when we hear that enough, we do start to believe it. You know, hearing all the time that I play dress up for a living, my wigs are ugly, I look stupid, I'm an embarrassment, I should be ashamed of myself, I have no shame. It really put me for a while in this position of believing all of those things and thinking I was being laughed at and I was stupid. Recently, I've come to understand that I'm a badass and most people love what I do. They think it's awesome and they are immediately accepting. And I feel like that's what needs to happen here. You need to just tell people, like, thank you for the advice, or I appreciate your opinion. Or even if they're that hostile about it, go F yourself. Whatever you've been dreaming of is coming. It's just going to take a while. And I'm seeing literally like a year. I believe this one particular person is jealous of my success. They've known me since I was in addiction and like I really, really depended on them. And I guess finding my independence, instead of being proud of me and happy, they became like very hateful of me. Literally everything of me. But that's something I live with, I deal with, I work through. And you guys really help me with that. I don't think y'all realize it. Like this stream, I leave this stream feeling like such a badass. And then for the rest of the week, I think back to the kind words that were said to me, to the encouragement I received. And that's what pushes me forward to keep working. I barely make any money and I'm working my butt off. But I know it's not going to be like that forever. My channel is growing very rapidly. Thank you, Mike. So you guys need to know that. You guys really help me stay focused and centered throughout the week with the things you say in this stream. That's why I'm so leery of trolls. Like the minute a new person comes in, I'm like very like, because this is like my supply. If that makes sense. Who's next?
This lurker dragon here. Bacon Jr.
All right. Yeah, and I do have to pin this down. Next week, that's what I'm going to do. Melissa, I'm going to use the Vampire Oracle. And sorry, guys, I've been yapping a mile a minute, but I know y'all are used to it. Check their channel. Yeah, I'm not in a position to do that because if I were on StreamYard and YouTube, I would lag. That's what I was trying to tell Jared. I will go into YouTube and give him his wrench. I forgot last week, but he left. But yeah, that's what you guys are for. And Edna, Blue Crossroads, and one other person are like the higher moderators, and everyone else is just a regular moderator. You guys have a little bit more, what is it called? Not responsibilities. You're able to do a little bit more because of your moderator status. Well, thank you, Miss Melissa. It is our hangout time. Well, Latro, if you do want one, I can give you one after this, but that's totally up to you, sweetie. I have been resetting myself this week, managed to manifest. Yes, please keep going. Don't ever stop. Smoochie, you gotta behave though. Like, it's funny, and like I understand where you're coming from. And I'm not judging you. It's just you could get me in a lot of trouble. Like last week, you doxed me. Like I'm talking about people not knowing my name, and you literally said it in chat at that time. Like you can't do things like that, baby girl. I'm gonna give you your wrench back, but you gotta be a good girl. At least a little bit behaves. You have my number. You could text me the naughty stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad with you. I really have to crack down because I can't afford to be demonetized, especially not from this stream. It's the most watched thing on my channel. All right, Melissa, let me pull Melissa's card and I'll give you your wrench. Paradox, yes. My channel just had its 4th birthday and it really did fly. Okay, Miss Melissa. You got the card of courtesy. Hold on one second. I got to give my wifey her wrench back. YouTube.com. Okay. I just want to watch my live. Oh, do I have to go in? Steven, do you have to go in through studio? No, right?
I'm not sure because I've never done that before.
Well, then no. The answer is no. If you've never done it before, then you obviously don't have to do it. Hold on one second, guys. Okay. Let me get the chat up. Sorry, guys. This is what I mean, though. Like, I lag. I have no chat. Can you give Smoochie her wrench back, please? Are you able to do that?
I can't do it because I don't have your
We've
channel.
got to go in studio. We got to go in studio. Wow, I gained like 22 subscribers in the last 2 days.
Yes, you
and
did.
I thank Laura and Steven for that, and Ryan. You guys definitely bring people in. Why did my excuse me. Wow, do you know what? I'm really glad this happened because I monetized this last night. Remember, I told you guys they asked me all these questions, which was weird. This isn't monetized. This whole time was not monetized.
Really?
I lost like $1, but it's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
That's
And that's what I mean. All right, if I can't do it, you're just going to have to wait, but I think I can do it from here. Oh, yep, there we go. Hey, Hazel, and anyone else that came in that I didn't see. So it says managing moderator can manage blocked words and change chat modes in live, and also has capabilities of standard moderator. All right, Smoochie, you got it. All right, sorry guys, back on board. Who else came in? I'm sorry if I didn't see you, but anyone new or Miss Pixie, you do. People come in just to watch you, and then like they'll stay for me. I'm perfectly okay for that. With that, people come in for Ryan, for Steven. That's why I chose you guys to be like my team. Do you know what I mean? I got a little crazy about it for a while, but I was in a really bad place. But I've worked through my issues to assure that I don't put them on anyone else. All right, Miss Bacon.
Yes, Hazel. Are you a little young, hun?
Who's pulling?
I don't know, but
Miss Hazel, you're definitely welcome here. Just tell me your age, hun, because I can't. I just need to know that you're you have to be a certain age for me to be able to read to you. It's actually against like the spiritual law to. How old is she? Hazel, you can listen in depending on your age. Otherwise, if you want, if you're not at least, I would say like 16, go and listen to like some of the paranormal stories maybe, or like Miss Pixie's live streams that she does. Definitely, you're more than welcome. But I feel like sometimes we talk about some things that are not kid friendly. I don't want to offend you in any way. I love if you're a subscriber and like you decided to come in and say hi, but I cannot read for you. Yeah, especially if you're that young, honey. I'm so sorry. Steven, you are on mute.
And I was agreeing with you. I was just saying, yes, she looks like.
No, like through spiritual law, like my guides, I cannot read for anyone who's under a particular age. And I don't say the age because I don't want the person to be like, oh, I am that age. But there is an age that's a cutoff. You cannot do it. And it's not 18, but it's definitely not 12. All right. Melissa, thank you for your patience. One thing we are known for in the main is our exquisite manners. Although this little vampire has no need for food, she has made sure her guests are going to be provided for with the sweetest of treats at our moonlit feast. So know that we think of your needs. Manners we do have. Manners are not simply a facade to veil our cruelty or the terrible hunger that creates that cruelty. Manners are a way of gracefully doing what must be done to smooth the difficulties we all must face and to create beauty amongst days that can be full of crude squalor. Having manners is to think of others' comfort and what will please them. This card we bring to you this day speaks to you of the need under the current circumstances to speak the truth, but to do so with grace and diplomacy and the least offense possible. This means to work out what it is you wish to achieve in the forthcoming discussions and how to best appease the offense which has already flared. With manners, diplomacy, and thoughtfulness, you may still navigate this treacherous stretch of your life. It is worth being kind, truthful, and yet graceful. In many of the nations in which we have traveled, we have noticed paradox. That in those which have manners, gracefulness, and dignity, there is a great deal of honor, and there is often harmony amongst people living in even the most difficult and testing of circumstances. Manners are not insincere within themselves, although they can be when used to mask hostility, but the crime there is hypocrisy. The time has come to marry up grace with truth and consideration. Use the beautiful magical gift of your good scent and your charm, and watch doors open and problems dissolve with newfound understanding. So there's literally a hole in this page that wasn't there when I opened the book. And it's right on the word curse. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right up here. No, you can't see it. It's right here. Blessing. Thinking of others creates flow, and the energy shall return to you. To the power of 3 by 3, beauty and grace create harmony in social interactions. And they do say that. I actually watched a video recently that all of y'all blue-eyed people are like came from one dude. Thoughtless actions can impede the flow of energy, waste time, and create negative potential. Melissa, that's the curse. Working with this card, it may seem strange, a vampire speaking of manners, when they so often have been known to take life, but they have often not done so, and they have also made friends and allies amongst those who were once most opposed them. This is because they are charming, their manners are often delightful, and they are able to speak with heart and truth, but to see the beauty within all and the need and address that. Learn manners for the new places you are going, and be courteous as well as thoughtful. Melissa, I've got a deep message, as I usually do for you, okay? All right. The problem here is my arms are pulling my hair, which is pulling it. I just realized that's what I'm like, why is it so? Okay. Richard Elmore, if you're here, please let us know. So, Melissa, honestly, this is a bit off card. It has to do with the card a little bit, but what I'm getting from your team is like, you need to BS your way through this, girl. Like, what is the what's the movie? Ghost, where she's like, you in danger, girl. I don't mean to laugh because it's not funny. I just thought of Whoopi Goldberg being like, you in danger, girl. This is you having to completely and totally BS your way through a situation. And I'm sorry, but so that you don't get hurt. You know, deep down inside, I feel like this is a turning point for you in the next couple of weeks. Something's going to happen, unfortunately, but fortunately. It's going to break, like, this is it. There's something that's going to happen that is going to set in motion you finally being able to remove yourself completely and wholly, no contact. And it might take a while for you to do that. I'm not seeing you like getting up and moving, but once that seed is planted, you will start thinking differently about what's going on. So you may think right now, Candy, if you're here, let us know, sweetie. You may think right now, like, yeah, I know that I'm eventually going to go. Like, no, this is you actually being like, all right, that's it. Play the role, play the part, you know, not to your detriment, but just to like keep things neutral. There's going to be an explosion of sorts from the other person. Play the role. You know what that means. I'm sorry to say I do too. And I hate that you're going through that. But girl, this is the point. And when you finally start talking to others who can help you about what's going on, I feel like you're going to understand that you can't just like blurt it all out. Like, you have to be concise and clear about what you're saying is going on. You know what I mean? Like, there's something being all like help, but it's like, why do you need this? And it's like, because you can't rage and rant and rave, you know, as much as you might want to. You have to be clear and have manners, and people may give you some pushback. I'm seeing this whole scenario playing out in my head for the next couple months for you. It's going to be a long, hard road, but if you hold on to your truth and fight for yourself, you're going to be great. Whoa, I am like white as a ghost over here. That's not much better, but what happens? It's better than the people in the shorts always being like, how do I say this? You look yellow. I'm like, okay, we learned in kindergarten you don't comment on people, especially a woman's looks, unless you're asked. How embarrassing for you. That's usually my response. All right, Mark. Bye, sweetie. Have a great night.
Mark, take care of yourself in that hospital room there, buddy. Richard's next.
Richard, we're using energy and spirit. I got you, babe. Oh, she said, I got you, babe. And he's like, I got you, babe. You're welcome, Melissa. And you have my number if you need me. Multifaceted Jules. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. New England Roadie. Welcome, sweetie. So good to see you. I was reading private chat. Sorry. You guys are awesome. Jules, it's so good to see you. I get like agita when our regulars don't come in. Now, all we need is Nut Slap, I believe, and Deb. But Deb, I should text, but I don't want to take time and stream and text. So maybe my next bathroom break. Jules, didn't you coin the phrase gemstone? Because we didn't always use that until someone came in one time and said, what's up, gemstones? And then it kind of stuck. I don't remember who it was. All right, Richard. Richard? Yeah, and it was you. I knew it was someone that comes in all the time. Steven, is this Richard's?
Yes. Yes, okay. It is.
Got you. Thank you. Richard, I see you now. I'm on a lag. You got Emotional Desert, card number 11, which is a great number. Inactivity and isolation, but you did get it in the shadow. Yep, no problems, Julie girl. It's just good to see you. The first card said something about someone being multifaceted, and I'm like, oh, my girl, where's Jules? Don't forget, guys, if you want a reading and you have to leave, let us know. We'll try to accommodate as many people as we can. When the emotional desert is reversed, it heralds a time of significant energy and productivity. Richard, the water in the oasis is raining down from the sky, bringing inspiration, wisdom, and other valuable resources your way. So, if you found yourself lost in a desert of uncertainty, rest assured that things are about to change. You may have to take some action to reestablish old connections and goals. Consider the projects that are calling to your heart. This card is telling you that even taking a little step forward will get your energy flowing again. Affirmation, I am a vital force in the universe. I have the power to create great value in my life and in the world. So guys, if you see Netter, I definitely am. That's why I always feel bad when you text me, because like I'm positive for you and I can see your path and like what you should be doing so clearly. And me, I'm just like a lost dog. Don't feel bad. We're all in this together. And I truly do, I care for all of you. You're someone I've gotten very close with, and I do worry, All right. So Richard, I do feel like this could be about something that you either just recently gave up on or are about to give up on. It's something that's not producing. So an idea that you were trying to make happen, but it never came to fruition, or like realizing your job is dead end. I was saying like the theme tonight is like, we are co-creators. So why are we not co-creating? Right? I want everyone to see this beautiful shirt. That's why I keep doing that. I love this shirt. Richard, I feel like it's not time to give up just yet. I do feel like if you stick with whatever this is, this could be a romantic relationship that you were about to give up on because it just wasn't really what you were looking for. This person could end up being your soulmate. I do see someone from your past coming in to like present an idea, or even to say like, I'm sorry, like there's a reason this person's coming in, and it's going to be such a fleeting experience. So like you're walking down the street, oh, hey, Richard, hey, Bob. And Bob like says something that sparks something in your head that you're just like, Oh my gosh, that is what I've been looking for all along. And like, you're finally able to move forward. Do not give up hope. Do not give up on anything or anyone in the next 2 weeks. Now, after that, I don't know how this is going to play out, but I will say no major endings. Don't like, there's a decision you're about to make here that is not the right decision. Follow your instinct and intuition more than you follow anything else, including other people's advice, what your heart tells you, what your mind is saying. Instinctually, be aware of your emotional vibration in the moment while you make any decisions in the next 2 weeks, particularly really major ones, and you're going to see that I'm right. Your team is right. Not me, your team. I shouldn't have said that, but do not give up yet. This is something big, and it could be very useful or productive or beneficial to you, or all three of those things. But if you give up on it now, you're not going to get the chance again to like rebuild it. Once you shut whatever this is down or whoever this is down, there's no going back. So stall, hold up on the decision. I feel like in the next 2 weeks, something could happen that could completely flip the script, particularly the way you're looking at whatever this is or whoever this is. Who's next?
Next is Candy B.
Candy, I'm going to use Black Moon Lilith. You're welcome, Richard. Thank you. Separation, division, and integration. Candy, card number 35. Ooh, this is an Alchemy Ascension card. It's like a separate part of the deck. I know, Halloween. I don't know if you're still on my Facebook, but I posted my Gwenpool outfit. All right. Candy, real and raw honesty. Again, real and raw honesty, guys. This is another running theme. With yourself is needed right now. When the separation oracle comes up, you have important decisions to make. When you go through internal growth, your external must also shift. The separation phase in alchemy is like finding the courage to let go of a draining contract, finally taking the next step in a project, or stopping harmful habits. This is accepting a new love into your life that may not be your typical type, quote unquote, but it is for your highest good. You've gained clarity, and now is the time to choose yourself first, cutting any and all ties of discord. Those who are meant to come along on the ride will accept the new version of yourself that you are stepping into. So let me just break that down first, because this is a little bit long. Candy, in the next couple of weeks, it is time for you to do for you. So I'm going to use a crazy example of like your mom and dad want you to marry Bob, but you're in love with Joe. And you want so badly to please your parents. This is just an example. Obviously not going to happen, but an example. But you don't follow your heart, and you just want to please everyone else. You're being at the very least that much of a people pleaser in whatever this situation is, that you would literally go against everything you know to be right just to make someone else happy, or go along with something you really do not agree with or don't want to do. That's like being on one side of the political spectrum, but going to the other side's rally and supporting them because you don't want to tell someone that you don't support that. Do you know what I mean? This is extreme behavior. I don't think it's common for you, Candy, but I do feel like in the next couple of weeks, you're going to be torn between like making other people happy or making someone else happy, and doing what you know to be best for yourself and true to yourself. And the universe, your team here, they're very emphatic. One of them has like tears in their eyes. Like, you cannot go along with whatever this is anymore. No more going along to get along. You have to stop and whatever, distance yourself from whatever and or whoever this is. This is the third stage of the alchemical magnum opus that cleanses the soul through the mystical element of air and is associated with Mars, the planet of action. In esoteric symbolism and modern tarot, air is associated with swords, which actively cut and sever to effect change. In alchemy, separation is the cleansing of matter through the process of cutting or separating. After this stage, you are left with the parts of yourself that you want to keep and can continue with on your ascension path. While it can feel painful to let go, lightening your load is necessary for your specific healing journey. They have this thing out. It's $100, and I'm going to get it for myself. I swear, I want it so bad. It's this foot spa thing, but it literally pulls toxins from your organs out of your feet. So by the end of it, the water is like mud. It's like muck, but it completely detoxifies you. I want it so bad. Yeah, Candy. It's time to identify what in your life no longer aligns and what belongs in the new world you are creating. It's like you're moving forward, for example, physically, mentally, spiritually, but not emotionally or psychically. You still have the same old ties. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. We don't want to think like we've been in a relationship for 10 years. Obviously, the person doesn't want to have kids or get married because what are we doing? We're playing house. I'm just using this again as an example. But you don't want to think to yourself, poop, I wasted another 10 years. So you go along hoping that it'll change, but knowing it definitely won't. And if there's something in your life that you're hoping will change, but know that more than likely or definitely it won't, those are the things you need to separate from. And that could mean people you've known your whole life. It could be family members you once were close to, but you no longer align with. This is a spring cleaning of your area, of your personal space, of your access. Who has access to you? I always use the analogy of getting into a nightclub. Say you're waiting in line to get into a nightclub. The fee is $10 to get in. You either pay the $10 and get access to the club, or you F off and don't pay. It doesn't matter the reason you don't pay, can't pay, won't pay, don't want to pay. If somebody doesn't want to pay, they don't get access. And that's something we all have to learn. It's okay to have boundaries. Yes, people will see us as B-words or A-holes. They don't align with us then. It's all right. Like, I feel like when we enforce boundaries, people are shocked because nobody has any boundaries these days. I don't mean nobody, but you know what I mean. Like, for the most part, people are shameless. Candy, please step into your power. It's a group I'm in, and I know that I need so badly to drop out, and I am. It's hard, but I'm going to do it. Please, your team really needs you to do this. You need you to do this. It is in your best interest 1,000,000%. You don't align with it anymore. You're just playing pretend. And it's harmful because whatever this group is filling, like a space in your life, nothing else that does suit you, that does fit you can get in. There's no room. You have got to clear a space. And that group, whatever it is, got to go. There are hard choices to stay true to yourself. You may not know it, but others see your pain and sacrifice and openly or secretly admire you for your courage. People can't help but judge. And sometimes we judge people, Blue, you're so right, in a positive way, right? Like I may be doing something just because for me, it's what I do. And someone else, I've had this happen where people are like, I was driving to my dealer and you popped up. I was listening to YouTube and I didn't use because of you. Meanwhile, I'm just living my life. But that was a positive judgment about me. This person trusted me enough to know that it will be okay. You don't have to pick up, because I say it all the time. I don't know how I look without these lights. I don't think I like it. I moved the lights up because they were like blaring in my face, making me look white and glowing. All right, who's next?
Life with Bobby.
Life with Bobby. Let's use the human spirit. Nutstop is not in here. I'm upset. You are so welcome, sweetie. Moochie, I blurred out your name, so nobody saw it was you, but I posted that on my Facebook. That really touched me. I was inspired by when you wrote, what would Gemma do? I really was. Thank you, Miss Pixie. I think that the less lighting, it's better. It looks more like me, because with the lights, the way I had them originally, the way I always have them, I feel like I'm like, you can't really even see my face. It's because I'm working with an area in my gigantic house. The only area I have for me to work is half the size of a typical prison cell. So it's like 6 or 7 foot by like 4 foot. I make do with what I have, you know. I could have nothing. 10 years ago, I had nothing. My husband always told me I was like a stray cat because I didn't have a phone, but he knew if he drove up and down. I told y'all, like, I stayed within the 10-block radius. I did not stray from that area. And he's like, if I drive up and down the streets long enough, I'll find you. Smoochie, I'm proud of you. That is not easy to do. Yeah, Miss Pixie, the only thing is I have a full apartment in the basement. I have a den downstairs, a 3-season room, a shed, a 1 or 2 car garage, a 10-car driveway, a spare bedroom, and I'm not allowed to have any room. My husband needs all that space. All right, baby UFO, I'll read for you then if I know you're going to be listening. Just whenever your name comes up. Aw, thank you, Kirby's. My hands are actually something I'm super duper sensitive about, and that's one of the reasons I always wear nails. You ever see Seinfeld where he's like, she's got man hands? I feel like man hands. But thank you.
You have Jersey hands.
I found out Laura Prepon from the 70s show is from Jersey. She's from Watchung, which is a few exits away. Life with Bobby. Count your chickens. Card number 37 in the reverse position. Blue Crossroads said, what would Gemma do didn't work for me because I could not pull off the Jersey accent as I was cussing out the person I was yelling at. You're another one. I can imagine you angry, but I can't imagine you losing your cool. Right? And I know you do. Like, you're human, but I imagine things about you guys, you know? We never give ourselves enough credit. I never feel like I'm good enough to be in this group. Right? I just don't. Itch unscratched. Thank you, Miss Pixie. All right, Life with Bobby. Count your chickens in the reverse. Oh my, look at all your little chickadees. You have waited for all the eggs to hatch and now are just a hoarder of chickens. There's a filthy joke in there somewhere. Stop blocking yourself from enjoying some of the finer things, Bobby, or maybe just replace some of the broken things around you. It's fine to save for a rainy day, but when you live in the desert, there's bound to be little to no rain. This is giving you permission to splurge, even if it is a teensy, weensy, teeny tiny purchase. And yes, it does say teensy, weensy. Mike J, you should have said something. I'm going to do a timestamp for you because you never asked for one, and I think it's only right. So Mike J, come back when you have time and get you a timestamp. Bye, sweetie. Life with Bobby, you are not allowing yourself fun. It's like you're doing for everyone else things that you really want to do, you enjoy doing a little bit, but you're not doing anything for you that you enjoy. You're giving everything to everyone. I feel like there's almost like a paranoia about like spending money or taking a break. You're welcome, sweetie. More than welcome. Bobby, I feel like in the next couple of weeks, like you're beyond burnt out. And even if you don't feel burnt out, you're energetically burnt out. She said, dag nabbit. I love this group. I love you guys. I really do. Yeah, Life with Bobby. No, not maybe. They're telling me. They are giving me all the tea, girl. Let me tell you, I get more information than I could ever give. Your team, a lot of the times, not yours particularly, but y'all's teams every once in a while sticks around to just give me the tea. But I obviously would never say anything because we're public and there's things I know that I'm not going to put out there. But I do know you are not letting yourself have any fun. You're not giving yourself permission to just be Bobby, right? Life with Bobby, what's going to happen here is even things that used to make you happy are going to start making you miserable if they haven't already. That's because I feel like you are growing apart. You're separating from who you really are. You have become this to that person, that to this person, this to that person, this to her, that to him. Who are you to you? We're all on a mission to find ourselves, but I feel like you more than anyone I've read for so far, like you are in burnout mode spiritually. And what I do when that happens, very simple. I do yoga. Yoga is not for everyone. You have to get out and have fun. And literally, I see you like out doing something, spending money, a theme park, the mall, buying yourself. Like this is splurging on yourself, doing for yourself what you're doing for everyone else daily. You may not even you may really enjoy being everything to everyone. Your spirit is trembling with pain. You can't keep distracting yourself by being mother hen. First of all, there's someone that's manipulating you. I'll say that much. Oh, Bobby will forgive me. Bobby will give me money. Bobby, you're enabling someone. And I don't even think you realize it. Please do something for yourself. Even if it's like ordering a thing of candy on Amazon that you really like. Speaking of which, I'm about to grab my candy. I haven't known. So when we walk around not knowing who we are, I think we all do. But if we can find out who we are a tiny bit, make a list of the things you really like. Like I love bowling. I love karaoke. I love going to water parks. I love the ocean. It'll remind you that you're a human being. Bobby, please do something nice for yourself. Send yourself flowers. When I drove, I used to I had a rich boyfriend he was always out like cheating and using, but I always had money. I'd take myself out to filet mignon dinners and drink wine. I would go on shopping sprees. I never filled the void, but I made sure I took care of me. And it was that time in my life, that horrible time, that I learned who I really was and what I was about. My biggest thing is my ego. I can get cocky sometimes because of the way I've been treated my whole life based on my looks. That's something I have to work on every day. But I know that about me. If you have no money to do anything, do a self-care day. Do you have woods around you? Do you have an ocean around you? Do you have a backyard you can go and put your bare feet in the earth? Do you have a kid or a grandkid you can take out and take them to the park? You have got to do something relaxing. Instead of just giving and doing for everyone else, you have got to do for you. If we look online, they have free events in most towns. I live in the middle of nowhere and there's always free stuff. Movie nights on the big screen at the churches, and find something, please. Walk around the mall and window shop.
Next is Miss Pixie when you're ready.
All right, Miss Pixie, I've got Fairy Oracle. Wild Wisdom of the Fairy. Jason Finch, please let us know you're here. By the way, guys, thank you to my members. Thank you to Miss Pixie for gifting so many memberships. Okay, let me tell you something. Push those vibes aside. F them if they can't take a joke. Bobby, you need this. Like, your spirit needs this. Please. If you feel called to do something, go do it. Nutslap said to me, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I can't work all weekend. And he's like, go film in the woods. Why didn't I think of that? I'm going to do it. I have no earth in my chart. I have a hard time connecting to Mother Nature. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to film it for you guys. I'm either going to live stream and use a spirit box, or I'm just going to go out there and walk around and see what I see and hear what I hear. And yes, make your life shine brighter, Bobby. All right, Miss Pixie. I know it's hard. It's hard when we feel like people are judging us to just be ourselves because we feel that judgment on us. But like I said, You got to just say F them. And the more you do, the more you'll just feel that. I am afraid of the woods. I see things that are scary, you know? And every time I go in there, I get lost. So let me take one more of these because they're delicious. Ooh, Miss Pixie, you got stolen in her sleep, unaware, unconscious, and unawakened. Thank you, Ghostdragonzw. Card number 15. All right. I'm sorry, guys. My sugar was dipping and I was starting to feel dizzy. Ooh, nice, Smoochie. Miss Pixie, the beautiful being in this card represents what we all know we have been at some time in our life. We have been a sleeper, unawakened to our own experiences. We have not been present, awake, or even aware of what has been happening. And this beautiful being is so deeply enchanted and spelled by conditioned thinking, by the quote-unquote sleep of her untested beliefs, that the only answer for her now is to go deep into the underworld, where she will be reconnected with the earth and reborn. But for now, she is as one slumbering through life in fear, never in the present moment. She is so stuck, so set in the ways of fear and programming, that it's time for the powers of the deep elementals, the earth, to take her in so she can be transformed. And just as she resembles beauty, she is indeed asleep to her own light, her own freedom, and her own blessings. And it's time for her to be transformed. Be not afraid for her, for the gnomes of the earth element will take her in, care for her, and then return her safely home transformed. She will awaken once again, and she will realize that it has been long since she was in the presence of life and offered up thanks for all she had been given. She will see as though she has never been seen before, or as she has never seen before, hear birdsong clearly and with understanding. She will feel intensely and know that it is safe to do so. And with her rebirth will come a fresh new beginning from her heart, extending outwards into the world. This going beneath is not to be feared, for it is a time of healing and reawakening to her true self. It is not as it seems. She is not being stolen from her slumber. She is being taken from a place of sleeping to who she is, to a place where she will be awakened in return with the full consciousness of all that she is. And that is a gift indeed. Divinatory meanings: unable to remember dreams, feeling cut off from psychic abilities, unsure of whether the path you are drawn to follow is safe, feeling scared that you may be entering a dark realm, wishing to go home and to ascend before you have done the work on the self. If this card has come to you, Lara, it's time to go deep within, to go into the earth, and to understand that material transformation is spiritual. It is then that your gifts will be fully awakened. So, Miss Pixie, I couldn't think of a card that doesn't describe you more. But here's the thing. I do see you in it. You are so welcome, Miss Bobby. Anytime. I'm always here. This is my last candy, I promise, for now. Laura, this constant, and I'm not judging you, baby, because I do it. This constant second guessing yourself. When we second guess our intuition and our instinct, we're second guessing our team. We're second guessing our higher self. We're second guessing our innate primal knowledge. We were all born psychic, Miss Pixie. You know that. You have opened yourself up to ability, and you've worked hard to get to where you are with your ability, right? You're a psychic medium. You're a tarot reader. And so much more. I mean, those are just the main things that you can do. You're definitely a, I don't think it's is it clairsentience when you, no. Yeah, clairsentience, I think. You can touch. You're probably clairgustant as well. But you keep doubting yourself. And I feel like the reason you're doubting yourself is the same reason I doubt myself, because you are kind and gentle and very like empathic to people, but not in a bad way. Like, you know how to handle that. I feel like somebody in your life, though, is planting a seed, and they're showing me like simpatico. So you and me like this. And that's because I go through that. So they're showing me something that I'm dealing with and going through with my psychic ability and my spirituality that is the risk of pushing me to sleep, putting me to sleep. It's happening to you too. Clairsentient, clairvoyant, clairgustant is taste. I guarantee you, if you look into that, you have that. Because claircognizant is usually this, like, I know it's just they go hand in hand. Anyway, I don't know if it's someone now telling you these things, but there is a voice in your head that is telling you, like, you're not making a difference. What you're doing is stupid. The same things I tell myself that I'm told all the time. You're too old for this. You're ugly. You don't know anything. Nobody's going to want to watch you and listen to you talk. You know, the question I get most from the person who drives me nuts with this is, what qualifies you? Like, when people come to me with health issues, like, can you pull some cards for me, please? I need a reading. I'm having this. What qualifies you? So I stopped talking about it. Miss Pixie, once you find your confidence, I literally see you like standing with your arms outstretched and the wind just blowing around you. You are so naturally a witch in the best possible way, strong and powerful and confident, but you have to find that confidence. I feel like you also need to reconnect with the earth. There's a disconnect here. You're not grounding maybe as much as you should be or as much as you used to. The earth is calling you back. The elementals, there's something in your area that you would go to. Maybe you didn't know they were there. Maybe you were talking to flowers or talking to the trees. I do it all the time. Even talking to yourself or whatever. They heard you and they want you to come back. You need a healing and a cleansing. And the thing with people like us is, like, Reiki is amazing and it works so well. I really wish I knew like a Reiki master to help me. But we can also get cleansed from the earth beings, the elementals, the fae. And I know to some people that sounds ridiculous, but I know that you know what I'm talking about. So wherever you went, where you connected with the earth and really felt that power, I want you to go back there. I want you to go back there as your friend, but your team is pushing you back there. The problem that you're having is your confidence is suffering because of negative self-talk. But it's not you. I feel like you feel maybe that like I always feel like sometimes I'm cocky with my stuff. And you might feel that way too. Like, we keep it to ourselves. We work through it. We don't act that way, but we may feel that way sometimes because, you know, I have over 5,000 people, whether they watch me or not. That is pretty dang awesome. But I've got to be careful. There's a balance that you have to strike, and you are way out of whack, way out of balance. Please recalibrate. Get your confidence back. You definitely deserve to be confident in this world. People need you, Laura. However many people, even if one person comes into your stream and they absorb what you have to say, those seeds are planted. You make a huge difference in people's lives. Just like I do, even though I don't want to admit it. Sometimes we have to admit it and find that part of ourselves that says, you know what, if I can't do this for me, I got to do it for the people who need to hear what I have to say, because you were put here in part to do this. I know you don't want to be famous. You don't want people bugging you in the supermarket like I do, but you do need to be here. There is something more. And I've been reading for you for a long time, and it's always about, like, you've got to level up this opportunity. But if I think it's you that's stopping this because you're not ready yet. You haven't found that confidence. Go reground. Speak to the trees, the flowers, the elementals. Feel the wind, the dirt in your feet. I feel like that's going to make a huge difference. And let me tell you something. If there's anyone in your life who's doubting you, talking crap, putting you down, it's okay to just not talk to them about it. For me, that's really hard because the person that I can't talk to is the person I should be able to talk to about anything. I keep everything to myself, because I don't want it spoiled. I'm about to start an Am I the A-hole series of some stuff I got on the internet until you guys send me yours. It's going to be hilarious. But I'm going to be honest. What qualifies me? Because people have asked me to do it. People want to hear what I have to say. And I think that you really need to understand how badly the collective needs what you have. You're more powerful than you give yourself credit for. You're more respected, loved, and wanted and needed than you could ever imagine. Get your butt out there. Yeah, where is Andrew? No, Mio.
Ready?
I got you, Miss Pixie. Just don't, maybe some things just don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? I get mocked all the time. It's hurtful every time. But it is what it is right now. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Next is Smoochie. I think she wanted human spirit.
Thank you for remembering that. I could tell my powers. I hate that word because it sounds so fantastical. I've gotten so much better and more connected because that Wild Wisdom of the Fairy deck, I was afraid to read from it because I never could interpret the messages. Like they never made sense, and now they're so clear. No Mio, wherefore art thou? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Yeah, so Nutslop too. I am most unhappy. Gemstones, please consider donating for my hotel room. No judgment if you can't. I totally get it. But I do need some help. It's going to be like, I think $350 total. I really need to get to Power Unity. I feel like I don't like no religious stuff, but I feel like it's like Jesus, like got to get to Jerusalem, got to get to Jerusalem, got to get to Jerusalem. Like he knew. I feel like this is it. All right. Miss Smoochie Girl, you got card number 24, head in the clouds in the reverse shadow position. I haven't done yoga in like a week. I really need to get on that. It is, Miss Pixie. Card number 24. Smoochie Girl, you are so grounded in living the daily grind, you have forgotten to dream. Or perhaps you have let go of your dreams because it seems life is taking too long for them to come true. Try the vision board. Maybe you are scared to dream big. Okay, well then, small dreams first, easily obtainable. You can work your way up from here. Go ahead, dream, let loose, desire something more than your everyday grind. You deserve it. Smoochie, yeah, after this, guys, I'm going to run to the bathroom again. You are very disconnected. And whether that's from like drinking or smoking or whatever, like I think that's beside the point with this reading. This is just you as a person deciding like, oh, well, this is just life. Like, no, that can't be good enough. If you are unhappy in any way, and this is not my message to you, because I'd be a hypocrite if it were, but you have to start at least thinking about being happy. What would make you happy and how do you obtain it? Smoochie, you can't go on like this. I do see, I know you're like always, there's a good side to this. I'll get to that after the bad. I'll give you the bad news first. Bad, right? I just feel like, see, butterflies equal freedom, but in the reverse, it's the complete opposite. It's like trapped in the chrysalis, and they don't know, the caterpillars, while they're in the chrysalis, don't know they're going to become butterflies. They're just doing what they do naturally. That's what you're doing. You have no way of knowing what's next, but what's next for you in your chart is amazing and beautiful. But you have to, why don't you make a goal like by the next time you come into the stream, you're going to have achieved or obtained something. The good news is, I feel like there is a part of you that knows like eventually you'll get to this point of happiness, of feeling more like yourself. I just feel like the way to feel better here would really, sorry, your team is a little overwhelming right now. Just give me a sec. I feel like it would really benefit you, like going to see Beetlejuice, doing something fun, stepping out of this caretaker role that you've put yourself in. And like, yeah, you may not have had a choice, but I feel like you're sacrificing way too much. You are not gaining enough back. Energy needs to be reciprocated. If not, it's wasted. You are trying to pour from an empty cup. And you know what? It's sad when we have to refill our own cups, but that's what you have to do right now. And you're very capable of doing it. That's the good news. Make a small goal. By this time next week, I'll have done this. Then make a 3-month, 6-month, 9-month, a year. When you can check off like little things, you know how, like, I don't know if you're like this, but I am. When I'm upset, I clean. But I have a list. Like this week, I'm doing counters, bathroom, etc. When I check those things off the list, I feel so good because I'm like, all right, I've accomplished something. I feel like you just feel like this lack of accomplishment. But you're helping someone who's terminally ill. That is a huge accomplishment. But now you have to focus that energy inward. You have to take care of yourself like you're taking care of others. And if you can't do that, you're already burnt out. If you can't do that, I don't like what I see for you. And this isn't to be a negative reading to upset you or scare you. It's what your team's got to say. Guys, I got to get this wig off. So I will be right back.
Okay, so next will be Kirby. And Chris, if you pop back in, I'll get you back in. I know you might be watching your shows and kind of taking a break. So it'll be Kirby, the baby UFO, and then Divine if you're still around. If you let us know you're here or whatever, I'd appreciate it. And Paradox Fossils. And that should do it. And now for some music. So I'm a man of little words today. Where's my music? Well, I'll be poop. There it is. That's just awful. That was just awful. Okay, I see you, Divine. Thank you, hon. Hiding in the background. I do the same. Okay, so what it is going to be Kirby, UFO, Divine, the Paradox is still here, then him, then New England if you're still here, and then timestamps. Unless somebody else comes in while we're running along here. Jules is back, so we can get Jules in too. Okay, Jules. Gotcha.
Does anyone else have Netter's phone number or just me? I'm going to text him real quick, guys. Hang tight. And I'm so sorry. I'm all over the place, but this is me. I'm going to send him one quick text.
Just not what we wanted. Yeah, I can't play the music I want to play. And it'd probably shoo everybody away. I've been listening to some heavy stuff when I've been working today. So even Pop said, man, turn that crazy stuff on. But Pop, I bang my head when I clean and work and cut the grass. New England's here. He's here.
I said nut slap.
Oh, I thought you said New England. Sorry. And
all right, I'm here.
Next is Kirby.
I'm so uncomfortable. Do you see this? This is why I wear wigs. Cordless lawnmower? I'm sorry, Kirby's? Kirby's, we're going to use Halloween. Oh, Miss Pixie, you're so cute. Divine Empathic says, we have a lot in common gifts-wise, Miss Pixie. I was catching up on the feed. Sorry. I think a lot of us, if we spoke, would find that we have ability. Like, I feel like thank you, Ron. I appreciate you. Oh, thank you, Divine. I have it in white too, or apricot. I love green. It's my favorite color. I feel like the abilities we most fear, we would be very surprised at the people in this stream specifically who have the same comments. Castor oil. I know. I keep forgetting that. I even have index cards because you guys sometimes come out with things. Hold on. Let me write this stuff down. New England, you've been telling me that for a year now, and I don't know why I never tried it. Methyl sulfo methane. I'm just going to write down the name, and then you could tell me how to use it. Come on. You have, what do I always tell you? My favorite thing about you in the wide world is your hair. Oh, Blue Cross Roads. That's right. You were in a similar position. And I do remember talking to you about that. I also spoke to her about like how she felt. Do you know what I mean? Actually, Jules, it's vitamin B12. And I'm so deficient that I lost all my hair at one point, just in chunks. It all grew back. This never did. Normally, I have a nice haircut that covers it. But since my mom moved, I used to get my haircuts when I was with her because she made time to bring me. I haven't been able to get one. So I want to go. I'm probably going to go this Sunday because if I get bangs, face frame, you don't see it. But to me, it's like this giant thing that I think most people, they notice, but they don't, doesn't affect anybody. All right, Kirby's, you got the owl. Kirby's is here, right? Silent, winged, and wise, all-seeing creature of the night. Show me the way, I will follow you in flight. Owls have for thousands of years been part of folklore and have been considered a special or sacred animal. With their huge forward-facing eyes and otherworldly appearance, they have been seen as both wise and as harbingers of the supernatural. Think seeing owls when you're dealing with extraterrestrials. There are many hundreds of species of owls, and almost all are nocturnal and carnivorous. Interestingly, they all have specifically designed feathers and that enable them to fly silently at night, giving them an incredible hunting advantage, sort of like having a stealth mode. Many deities were said to be able to change into owls, and perhaps the most famous was the Greek goddess Athena, who was famous for her strategy and intelligence. To this very day, the capital city of Greece, Athens, has Athena's owl as its symbol. Greece, why was I going to say Greece? Greece is on my, like, there are 5 places in the world I have to go before I die. Number 1 is Ireland. Number 2 is Scotland. Number 3, actually 6, is Greece, London, and Rome. And I have times of all those places on my phone. Should the hooting owl come looking for you this Halloween, it indicates the need for wise counsel or further information before you make a decision. Considered action is warranted. Think before you act emotionally and ensure you think strategically, not impulsively. Is Kirby's here? I don't like reading for people.
Yes, he's here. He said he was here.
Okay.
He said he'd be listening.
Got you. I figured that. Yeah, New England, you do. We've talked about that. You've got a lot going on in Colorado that I don't think you're aware of. Kirby's, I'm sorry. I'm very scattered tonight. I didn't have much time to pull myself together and open. My husband was late picking up our son. Okay, so Kirby's, I do feel like you are receiving downloads and messages. I just don't think you understand what they are. So, like, for example, you have a dream of a deceased loved one and they tell you, like, don't drive on the 15th. Take that as, I'm not going to drive on the 15th. If you randomly are like washing dishes and you get a thought in your head that's like, I need to call so-and-so, and you haven't spoken to so-and-so in 10 years, do it. Take the advice. You're getting downloads. You're getting messages from spirit, from your team. They're here and they're like, dude, come on, open up your energy. This is them, not me. they're trying to tell you something that is going to help you, to benefit you going forward in the future of like something you're trying to do. I feel like in this one area, you feel lost, you feel alone. You feel like nobody's going to understand. Maybe you feel a dead end. This doesn't mean you feel this way about your whole life. There's one thing though that you just can't. The universe, your team is like, just call us in. Just wake up in the morning and say, this is going to be an amazing day. And I'm giving all my decision making over to my spirit team. Watch how amazing your day goes. Also, I recommend this for everyone, but you specifically for the next 2 weeks, Kirby's, when you wake up, don't immediately check your phone. Give yourself an hour. What I want to start this week, starting Monday, is once I put my son on the bus, for an hour, just go for a jog, a run, or even a brisk walk while it's still pretty nice out. Have some music on and just not interact with my phone in any way other than to play the music. This is something I need to do. I am seeing that the universe wants you to put yourself out in the earth as well. Even if you just stand in your front yard with your bare feet in the grass, it's going to work. Oh my gosh. Ron, absolutely. Let's read. Oh, good night, Miss Pixie. Love you, and I hope you feel better. Let's read for Ron's friend, Lauren. I don't think anyone will mind. Let me just pick the right deck. All right, I got it. We're using Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Don't forget, guys, if you're in here on the list, but you have to leave, let us know so we can get you in. I don't like people coming in for readings and then not wanting to wait. Smoochie, it's horrible. Blue, yes. I love that. You're someone who I feel like if I hung out with you, I would be so much more motivated, because even like on the phone, like the conversations we have every once in a while through text, like you're just a motivating presence. Even when you're not trying to be, you have this air about you of like, I get poop done, right? And when you're around me, you're going to get poop done too, but like not in an arrogant or malicious way. Just that's who you are. And you have a very safe and protective aura. And I love and adore that about you. So I'm not surprised that you have that in your life. Divine, I don't believe so. I went and took my wiggy off. I'm going to read for someone who popped in that lost everything in Helene, and we're just going to squeeze her in. Some people do bring out energy in people. Oh, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like the constant criticism and non-support that I go through. I feel like my channel could have 15,000 subscribers by now if I had someone who was saying to me in my real life, you got this. You look amazing. You know, I'm so proud of how far you come. Meanwhile, I get, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're an embarrassment. Your wig is nappy. You're ugly. You're fat. And with that kind of stuff going on, and this person doesn't come right out and say I'm ugly or fat, but they don't compliment my look. And when I cry that trolls call me fat, they're like, you brought that on yourself. It's only going to get worse. You know? And I feel like if I had that support. All right. Convention, Miss Lauren. And let me just see with this Venus in Virgo. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Virgo. It's Capricorn. Lauren, Venus is the Venus in the common sense sign of Capricorn describes someone who needs a romantic partner to share and help them achieve ambitions. Disliking public displays of emotion, this planet sign type is fairly conservative in behavior. Although this sounds dull, the Capricornian's zany sense of humor prevails, keeping any relationship lively and entertaining. Often, the Venus in Capricorn card indicates a fair age difference in a major relationship. People with this aspect are loyal and steadfast, but financial security is very important to their emotional happiness. Love on an overdraft is not conducive to a Capricornian's well-being, and relationships can suffer if the partner is recklessly extravagant or foolish with money. There's always, with this sign, a strong social and artistic ambition. New England, I believe that. I just want to lose my fupa. Venus Capricornians like to know and be known by their talent and successfulness. Success. Their involvement in the arts world could be based on their own talents or be concerned with exploiting the creative abilities of others. The Venus Capricorn love of artistic things usually leans towards more conventional, expressing itself in a classical music and traditional arts. The Venus Capricorn type has good feelings for business dealings with the opposite sex, and harmony in this area is important to their life ambitions. When this card is chosen, it often indicates a romantic liaison with someone much older or younger. A marriage or affair with a great age difference, a relationship with a famous or important person, a new friend, or some influence. So this is about love, and I don't do love readings, right? Yeah, Ron, please do. What I'm seeing here, Lauren, so I'm going to take the romantic aspect out because that is not what we're talking about here. I literally just saw a flash of what happened. So, okay. What the universe is telling you to do, let's go 2 months in, 2 months from now. So over the course of the next 2 months, try to focus on like these short-term goals. There's so much that you can't control and that you can't do right now, even if you wanted to, right? You lost everything. The universe is telling you sometimes something like this has to come and like wipe everything out. Hey, what's up, little bit? You got my text? It comes and wipes everything out to make room for new. But as humans, losing everything, like this is a whole emotional thing, losing everything to Helene so suddenly. My heart goes out to you. But you cannot give up. The universe is working for you. And what you need to do in the next couple of months, according to your team, is focus on these very small goals. Getting up in the morning and getting dressed. Goal. Check. Taking a shower. Goal. Check. You know, who can I talk to? Yeah, I can't even imagine the devastation. New England Dirtwood, you're absolutely right. Lauren, the only thing you can do is if you are religious or have faith, I would say pray. It's kind of ludicrous to me to even be giving you the advice that's coming in, but it is what's coming in. You have to keep going. For some reason, you have to be the strong one. I don't know if you have a family that you're trying to like protect and shield as best you can, or if it's just you. People or a person, like they're looking to you. What do we do next? And you don't have the answers. So again, if you're religious, pray. If not, ask your spirit team to come in and help. I do feel like you'll have an opportunity to slowly, very slowly start moving forward in the right direction, achieving small goals. I feel like right now it's about doing the little things that make you happy and keep your mind off of what happened. Maybe I can fit you in for a personal. Ron, can you also give Lauren my email address? I would like to read for her a full reading. Because this is just the tip of the iceberg, I feel, of what the universe wants to say. They showed me 3 different decks and I just chose one. And I can't give her 3 readings here. I usually don't do this, and this is something I said I'm not doing anymore, but I feel like someone who literally lost everything, the least I can do is try to help in that way. I don't have money to give or anything like that, but I can help in this way. So give her my email address and tell her I will, as soon as I get an email from her with her permission, I will do a full reading. Darling Deb in the house. I remember last week you're like, I keep forgetting. So I got you, girl. Who's next?
Baby UFO.
All right. RJ ordered these. He put them in my Amazon cart. I was like, okay, I guess you want these candies. Deb, you're going through a lot. I know. Baby UFO, we're doing Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. That flash of a picture of that poor woman's devastation really zapped me, guys. All right, we'll take this. Did Aunt Edna ever come back? Ron, Blue Crossroads wants to know if Lauren is in Tennessee or North Carolina. Next, after this, is Divine Empathic and Paradox Fossils. And just making sure, I thought you left without saying goodbye, and I was like, that's not cool, Aunt Anna. All right. Baby UFO, you got Alchemy, Circe. Card number 23, my favorite lucky number. It's the dark card. So, Deb, Ron here is a friend of mine through the stream. And he's so funny. He texts me like every day, just good morning. I love it. It's so cool. Even though I don't ever text back because I just don't have time. But he's persistent, and I love that. So, Ron, thank you for that. But he asked me to read for a friend of his who was in North Carolina and lost everything in Helene. And what happened is her guides flashed a scene of what happened to her home and the surrounding area very quickly so that I can understand. So one card is not, it's just not anything, right? I literally feel like my heart hurting. All right. Baby UFO, you are the magic. Be your own alchemist. Deepen your plant and herbal knowledge. Do not trust fleeting first impressions. Sometimes things are not exactly as they seem, so look deeper. Get clear about what is real and what isn't. Circe is probably one of the most intriguing deities within all Greek mythos. Born of the god of the sun, the titan Helios, and the ocean nymph Perse, she became one of the greatest sorceresses, herbalists, and potion makers in the ancient world. Misunderstood and feared, it was said she was beautiful and had eyes like all of Helios's children of bright, shining gold. The myth that most people recognize about Circe is that of her home on the island of Aeaea, full of tame beasts, such as huge lions, wolves, and massive tusked pigs. When Odysseus arrives, he marvels at this graceful woman alone, except for these huge creatures, but soon realizes that the creatures are all formerly men whom Circe has transformed into beasts with a potion, and his crew are some of those men. Again, here is the idea that a sorceress would automatically have to be of ill intent, and giving pig-making potions to sailors may be a bit of evidence to this. But let's look beneath the surface. Let's look more closely. Imagine being Circe, hunted by the great Athena, exiled to this island, and being alone except for your skills in potion making and magic to protect you. Every now and again, a boatload of sailors comes to the island, sometimes accidentally during a storm and sometimes simply to rest and gather supplies. Circe offers them some hospitality, some salt and food, but she's a woman in their eyes, vulnerable, and, in fact, something to use as they will. She is as aid, and she is determined this will never happen again, and decides that every man who comes to the island, unless they leave that same day, will be transformed. Things change somewhat when we know the motive, right? Circe is able to pull together the elements and the plants in order to synergistically create magic for all kinds of reasons. She assists her sister Pasiphae when she gives birth to the Minotaur, and it is suggested she created the potion that transformed Scylla and the poison that brought Odysseus back to life after he was killed by Telegonus. In a long and interesting life, Circe defended, hindered, assisted, and created big magic. Your plant companion, baby UFO, is Rue. A little bit for sure. And your crystal companion is the beautiful, gorgeous, something I don't have, a violet flame opal. So, baby UFO. I feel like somebody is misleading you. You are you're not seeing the big picture. I feel like there's something that's like a distraction, right? So it's like nothing to see here. Look over here. It's like somebody's offering you something or is about to offer you something that seems too good to be true, but that's because it is. Now, however, this doesn't mean there's no opportunity in this. I feel like what's being offered. So, for example, say that you meet a woman that you're interested in romantically. She's also interested in you. You guys hang out, you do whatever, you want to take it to the next level, and after a few months, you find out she's married. Nothing's as it seems. You end the relationship, you're sad, but you learned, those lessons. Maybe you met someone through her. There is something like inside of whatever this manipulation or thing is that is meant for you to learn. Like that is the lesson that you're going to take and go forward. In the next couple of weeks, just don't give in. If you feel something's off, if you feel someone's full of poop, if you have questions, if your intuition is haunting you about something, please make sure you call it out. You don't have to be unkind. You can simply say, aren't you married? Or, if someone's trying to sell you something like, oh, how did you come to this price? You can, even if you do it like in a sarcastic kind of way, right? You don't have to be unkind. Asking questions to try to expose somebody when they're trying to harm you, manipulate you is perfectly okay. It's not rude. You don't lack decorum. It's the universe expects it. You don't just sit there and get kicked around. I don't know what that means. No, yes, that is exactly it. Baby UFO, no offense to the dogs. You got to find somewhere for them to go. Eviction notice. And it's not about the dogs. It's about the fact that you thought you were doing the right thing, but somebody here bamboozled you. Yes, they boonswoggled you. They took advantage of your kind-hearted nature. They took advantage of the fact that people are usually agreeable. Like, we believe that other people have the same intentions as us, light workers and empaths specifically. So we go into things honestly, just assuming that the other person's going into something honestly too, because why wouldn't they be? Get rid of them. I'm sorry. You got to cut ties. There is a big lesson you're about to learn here in the next couple of weeks. And as long as you're allowing yourself to knowingly be bamboozled and manipulated, you're not going to learn anything from the situation. Who's next?
Divine.
Divine empathic? Whoa, I'm using aether creatures. I, was concerned about you because of your reading last week. So let's see what we got here this week. Smoochie, I'm not going to get into it, but I do feel like there could be a civil war coming. I'm very scared for our country right now. Oh, I'm sure it's not easy. That wasn't meant as a judgment, like just open the cages and let them go, but definitely find another place for them. Let this person, this people, this organization know, you don't play that. That is not okay. All right, Divine. Divine, are you still here?
Yes, she is. She just spoke to me.
Moochie, I absolutely agree, honey. You got the Capota. I mean, more so than what we have now, right? With all the crybabies and whiners. Carl, what's up, girl? Okay. So, Divine, you got card number 71. Yeah, no worries at all. Sorry, guys. I just had some ice cream today. So, Divine. Oh, thank you. Love your face too, girl. Sorry, I am all over the place tonight. I didn't have enough time to open. That's why I'm like, I keep hearing like random spirit yelling and like, it's just, I heard, whore, really loud. I know I'm not supposed to say that word, but I did. I keep hearing it over and over and over again. All right, divine. If the capote appears in reverse, you are slipping into an old story. This story is not only inaccurate, it also does not serve you. In this situation, the narrative that you are hearing in your head or telling others is outdated. You're believing that a condition or situation has not changed when it has. You would benefit from changing the story. This could mean seeing how a condition or situation has actually changed, or it could mean reframing or reconstructing your idea of what has happened in the past, what you are perceiving in the present, and what you are imagining for the future. It's time for your story about the past, present, and or future, including your story of self, to evolve. Capote in reverse teaches you that when you change the meaning and narrative of the past, this changes the narrative and meaning of your present and future. Let your stories evolve. Capote loves to come in reverse to those who are telling an old story. Oh, for sure. For sure. And I usually close myself off to them, Alan, but I didn't have time. And claiming that they oh my God, they are a certain way when in fact they have changed a great deal, or when the meaning someone has assigned to an experience isn't accurate, or when a person is only looking at what they have lost or do not have rather than what they have gained or have. And they especially love to come to people when the story of their life experience needs to be reframed. Divine, when the capote comes in reverse, realize that your stories are far from objective. Ask yourself, is this story I'm telling myself and or others serving me? Is this the story I want to tell? In the situation at hand, how do I shift what was formerly seen as something negative into something positive? What was or is the gain in what I have experienced? Yeah, so I don't feel like you're doing anything wrong, right? So I don't want you to take this as like a judgment or an indictment. Divine, I just feel like the universe wants you to reframe. I don't feel like you come at anything with a victim mentality, but I feel like to some people you could sound that way because you're talking about your experience. Now, when you're in your meetings, obviously that's what you want to talk about. I think the universe wants some more positivity and some more strength from you, right? Not that you're not showing those things, but I feel like they want you to talk about what you experienced, the abuse and all of that, in a way where you are letting people know you came out on top. You're stronger than ever. I feel like there's also, you may not want to admit this to yourself, but I think deep down inside, if you really check, there may also be some normalizing of what you went through. This happens after a certain period of time when we leave a long-term abusive situation or relationship, where we kind of fall back into old ways of thinking. We forget, we start normalizing our conditioning ourselves to believe that it wasn't so bad. I don't know if you're going, to that extreme, but I do feel like there's some part of you that is still either blaming yourself or normalizing what you went through. And that's the part that's keeping you from telling people, I am a mother effing survivor. Be confident about that. You're not some little dandelion up against the corner in the wall. Be strong. Let people know with confidence. Don't be afraid to show confidence. That doesn't mean you're narcissistic or egotistical. Showing confidence in helping others and just being like, yeah, sometimes I know some things I went through I'm ashamed of, that like the stigma on them, things that I've done, things that have been done to me. But I'm in my power now, so I can easily talk about those things and know that it just makes me better. It lets people know that no matter what you've been through, you are going to be fine. There is a lesson in everything. Heather, not for you, baby. You good. Divine, I just feel like you're slipping just a little bit and forgetting how strong you are. You are forgetting what you've been through. You are a warrior. You are a survivor. Don't be meek about letting people know that. And if someone doesn't like it, boy bye, girl bye, they bye, bye bye. Who's next?
Paradox.
So I want to say, and Paradox, I'm going to use Halloween. Heather B., I am so proud of you. I see your Facebook posts from a year ago, and I take no credit for this. I'm not saying it's because this stream. The work you are doing on yourself, the spiritual elevation of your energy from your posts, from your energy in here, how it's shifted just from the first time you popped in to now. I am amazed and I feel empowered by it, inspired by it. And I just want you to know, even if nobody else does, Heather, I see you. Okay? I see you, baby. You are a warrior as well. And keep going. Keep going. Divine, you're so welcome. Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, you're inspiring. You came in the first time with this very meek, mild, unsure, kind of skeptical energy, and you have just blossomed into this amazing, spiritually enlightened being who just every day absorbs more and more and stands more and more in your power. And I see it. I see it, and it's beautiful, and I don't want you to ever stop. Jason, I think we got to you a long time ago, but just wait for Steven to get back. We'll put you in. Alan, Paradox Fossils. Midnight, the most magical time of all. The most magical hour of all, excuse me. Yes, it is, Heather. Yes, it is. And I'm glad you see that. It's a lifelong journey with no destination except happiness, right? Alan, the dark it envelopes me, the witching hour awaits, true magic and enchantment. Thank you so much, Divine. I appreciate you. And spells that change fates. The middle of the night, midnight, is the hour in which it is believed that ghosts, witches, ghouls, and magic are most likely to be active. Transition times, such as noon, the time between tides, or even dark moon, are traditionally powerful times for magical transformation. In some Christian traditions, the witching hour is seen as 3 a.m. because it is opposite to the time that Jesus is said to have died at 3 p.m., but there is some consensus that midnight is the greatest time of magic, particularly around Samhain or Halloween. As the spirits flow forward through the veil and, if benevolent, bring positive messages, if not so benevolent, they are mischievous and play tricks at best or at worst wreak havoc. Allow yourself to relax into the benevolent darkness of midnight. You may feel this is your darkest hour, but know that the light will return again. The dawn always follows the darkest night. Know, too, that it is important to recognize that we all have darkness within us, just as we have light, and this isn't something to hide from. Yeah, I feel like you could be going through a hard time. So many of us are. Deirdre, you almost missed my cutoff, girl, but I got you. It was good seeing you the other day, by the way. I got to tell you what happened afterwards. It's cray-cray, but I'll tell you on the phone because I've been just interrupting readings all night. You are going through a dark night of the soul. Divine, thanks again. But Alan, there's so many of us that are. It's kind of a collective thing. Yeah, you're out of whack. You're out of balance. The universe is saying it's okay to embrace that. It's okay to sit in the darkness a little bit. Because when we sit in it, we start to understand how we got here. Even if we dwelling, believe it or not, is not always a bad thing because we're thinking. Now, we don't want to do this all the time, our whole lives, but we can take some time to sit and really think about why things happen the way they did and what we want to do with what we learned. Jason, I see you. I'm just waiting for Steven to get back. And this is your time for that. Even if you have to write it down. Good night, Divine. Love you. Even if you have to write it down, you have to come up with a goal. And I feel like you have to make sense of some things that have happened even recently where like you still don't understand why. And the why is what's important here with this card for you at this time. Understanding that, a relationship that you thought was going to last forever, for example, ended. Why did that have to happen? Because you learned so much from that person. Well, what did you learn? Then you're going to take that, absorb it, and then be able to move forward with that knowledge in your power, making sure it doesn't happen again. This is your time to reflect, to understand, and to recognize. Oh, big hugs to you too. Thank you. Deirdre, I was just kidding. I would never cut you off. But yeah, the school lost my son. I'll send you a text. Who's next? Jason is here. I know we called him a while ago, but he's here now.
Yes, I know. Next is Jules.
Julie girl, I'm going to use Sacred Forest. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. What's worse, Deirdre, is it's not the first time this year it's happened. I want to send you a voice text when I'm done with stream, and you don't have to respond tonight. I'll probably be done by 10:30, hopefully, if I can stop yapping. I think I've talked more tonight than I ever have. Jules, you got Starry Night. Wow, what a beautiful card. Acceptance. Where does he keep going? Jason, you're not being pushy. You're fine.
Sorry, my nose is dripping all over the place, and it's driving me nuts.
Okay. No problem. Just as long as I know that you're okay, because I worry. Jason, you are not being pushy. You are fine. If you were, I do time people out, and then they come back in and we laugh about it. So don't do that. You're fine. Jules, acceptance. Through the pine boughs, 1,000 stars shine brightly overhead. In the stillness of the night, you can hear the soft songs, each star with its own melody, all notes coming together as one glorious song. You feel your spirit rise as this canticle of the cosmos showers down on you. You know that you have a place on the planet that is unique and remarkable. Allow blessings of the Creator to cascade into your being. You are so very worthy of this grace and so much more. Embrace all parts of yourself, Jules. Accept your majesty. There are times when it may be challenging to fully accept yourself just as you are. Yet when you don't honor all parts of yourself, you are denying yourself the full experience of life. There are no wrong experiences. Each one allows us to grow as a spiritual being. Some people say that we can never accept the dark deeds that have been done on the planet. There is no need to do so. Some things are just wrong. That's just how it is. However, in order to bring more light into the world, you must first accept yourself in all your permeations. What you deny in yourself runs your life. The more you accept yourself, the more fulfillment and life force energy you will have. That is so profound to me. The more you accept yourself. Oh no, I'm sorry. What you deny in yourself runs your life. Wow. The spirit of Starry Night says, embrace your inner majesty. Accept your life in all of its configurations. Every moment has profound value, even if it doesn't seem like it. Forgive yourself, forgive others. Accept all that life has provided, and harmony will ensue. This is what I was talking about earlier when I said because of how I was treated my whole life based on my looks, I sometimes get caught up in how I look in a negative way where I get very cocky, right? And I have to tone myself down and remember that, but I do accept that part of myself. I understand it. And that's why you guys don't see a lot of that, I hope, because I work with that shadow. Now, Jules, in your case, I just use that kind of as an example of like knowing the bad parts of me, right? I'm quick to yell, but then 2 seconds later, I'm fine. And then I regret the yelling, right? RJ said the other day, the only person I ever hear you yell at is daddy. You never yell. I was like, yeah, well, he's daddy, Jules, I feel like this kind of coincides with Alan's reading a little bit too, because it's like, you understand what the dark night of the soul is. You know what the awakening is. You understand energy and reciprocity, but it's like you've hit a crossroads where you don't know how to incorporate those things in your life. Maybe there's a part of you that you don't like, something you did that you're ashamed of, or that you feel guilty over, something like that you just can't move past. And every time you're doing well, this pops up. The reason that happens, okay, I didn't read that, but I see it now. I have so much guilt, though, about being an addict, and I may not be active addiction, but I'll always be an addict. Honey, I'm sorry. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I do not believe once an addict, always an addict. And Deirdre is a counselor at the hospital I go to, and she works with fresh face, like just walked in off the street addicts and addicts in programs. Okay? I do not accept that. I have not touched a drug in almost 6 years. I'm not an addict. I was an addict for 5.5 years of my life, and I'm almost 42 years old. Guilt, shame, fear, regret, it comes from the enemy because they want to put it in our heads that we're bad, we're shameful. We take people hostage, yes. But here's the thing. We're meant to do those things. The people that we do that to, like, they learn their own lessons from it. And I'm not saying it's ever a good thing. Deirdre, we do recover, right? Jules, I understand that shame probably better than you realize. Thank you, Miss Smoochie. But I want you to understand that until you can accept that part of you, talk to her, and with love, acceptance, and no shame, let her go, you're always going to struggle and your manifestation is always going to be blocked. And I don't mean it's like a doomsday thing. You just have to work on that. I trade one addiction for another, always something forefront above everything else. So change that to something spiritual. When I first got clean, I became addicted to Jesus. Smoochie, I know you don't like hearing that. I'm sorry if you're triggered. I'm just talking about my experience. Addicted. I made that my number one priority in addiction. I pushed myself. Going to church 3 times a week, reading the Bible, celebrate recovery, working with the Bible and the recovery books, speaking, going. I didn't go to meetings. I couldn't. It was me. If it's not harmful, it's not harmful. If you accept that part of yourself, you have to figure out a way to either let her go or work with her going forward. You are not going to move forward without that. And you have so much potential. Blue Crossroads, yes. He said, Deirdre Montez, then you are a badass. I salute you. Yeah. She's awesome. The way we met is she was working in the area at the time of the hospital that I would go in to get my medication. And they called me to do a survey. They're like, would you take a quick survey? I'm like, no. And then I'm like, wait, is this Deirdre? Because I remembered her and she was so nice. I was like, okay, I'll do it for you. And then we became friends. And she's an amazing woman. And she's so inspiring and strong. But she doesn't see that. She struggles with the same BS we all do. But we recover and we move forward. Jules, you're beautiful and amazing and you got this. And absolutely, go and sin no more, Jesus said. And I say that to you, Jules, because I know that you do believe that. You believe in Jesus. He didn't say hold on to the guilt and burden, just sin no more. And that's to the best of our human ability. All right, who's next?
Jason.
Jules, oh, girl, that is something you're going to have to work on because that can destroy you just as easily. And I never see that working out for you. Like every time I read for you and you're helping someone, I always get a more negative reading than usual. I feel like you have to change what's inside of you so that you can attract the right types of people. Excuse me. I hate the mists. Like when they show up as mists. It's creepy. I got to look into what Aunt Edna said. He said that they got Diddy on Pac's murder. Okay. All right. So Jason, I hope you're still here. You got Ghost, and I will try to get through these a little faster, guys. I apologize. Tonight was long because of my talking. But we get through it. Y'all are going to need a recovery group from listening to me yap for 3 hours. All right. Jason, shadows of the past, let them visit, but don't let them stay. They no longer hold substance in your world, and if they linger too long, they may become trapped in your psyche. Divine, this is also for you. Have you ever found yourself having an argument with someone who wasn't even in the room? The argument plays out in your head. That situation that brought about the feelings and emotions that led to the internal disagreement is a ghost, like a ghost repeating the pattern of walking through a room as it has done each night since its human form passed. It is stuck in a moment in time. There is nothing that can be said or done that will change what occurred. Ghosts ask that you examine your feelings regarding a past event. Jules? Are you able, Jason, to find acceptance and move forward into healing? Are you unable to forgive or seek forgiveness, allowing old wounds of the past to remain open? Pay attention to when ghosts appear. They may indicate the source of a block. It might be time for an exorcism. Now, this doesn't mean literally, right? It would have to be an extremely rare case for this to be a literal thing. Ron, you are amazing and so supportive, and I just appreciate you so much. Jason, I hope you're listening. I feel like you're replaying something in your head over and over and over again. Because you don't like the outcome that actually happened. You're imagining that it ended differently, that you played a different role, that you said a different thing. The problem is we can't go back in time. And unless you're a powerful witch or a sorcerer, you're not going to be able to like try. You just can't do it, right? As a regular quote unquote human being. Jason, it is time to put the past to bed. Put it to rest. Make peace with it. Let it go without shame, judgment, fear, guilt, regret, etc. What you can do is play the event over in your head. Imagine it ending the way you want it to end, the way you wish it had ended or ended up, and then let it go. Tell yourself that it ended that way. Make it like a timeline jump. Like, this is how it ended. I'm going to imagine it this way. I feel better, and I'm going to go forward telling this story to myself. Now, obviously, you don't want to talk out loud and like tell lies that, you're not going to be like, oh yeah, I didn't punch the wall. But tell yourself all the ways you did do the right thing. And say you're sorry in your head for the wrong things you did. You've got to make peace with whatever the situation is. Who's next? Multifaceted Jules, I love you. It's only because you guys I'm here.
Little bit.
Miss Deb girl. All right. I am going to use for you Fairy Forest. I even texted Netslab. I'm a lost cause to stop listening to Gemma Jade. Oh, you're so welcome, Jason. I appreciate you too. Ron, you don't fear us. Witch is a stigma that's not fair. They've even found that the witch trials, like nobody was actually a witch. Oh, all right. I'll take it. Bliss, card number 42. Contentment, satisfaction, and security. All right, little bit. Oh, thank you, Miss Jules. Dead balls. If you don't say that, I don't feel right about the reading. You are contented, relaxed, and serene. This is no time of complacency, but of true abiding happiness, loving relationships, supportive friendships, meaningful work, and a flowing joy. You are secure, safe, and well, and this bliss has mature, healthy roots and branches. It will endure. Your questions and searching, your pain and crises will soon be in the past. It's now time to be of service in the name of love, to send out love and contentment, to be a living embodiment of the beauty that life can be. You may fear some will be jealous or envious, and so you have been quiet about any joy. But if you share with a loving, secure, and sound heart and send this love out into the world wide, your contentment can only be maintained and deepened. You are the person who proves that bliss is no dream. It can happen. The more you give, the more you will benefit. This being coming forward to speak with you signifies that which many of us live for: clothes, family ties, children, a pregnancy, material satisfaction, stability, happiness, and long-term satisfaction and success. All you have to do is radiate out that energy and be grateful. This is not to say there won't ever be challenges. They'll come, but so again will bliss. So you might as well embrace it. Oh, Ron, good. I was like, please don't. I'm a friend of Gemma. Yes, I am going to make merch. One day my merch will sell and I'll be able to get someone to create it that I can actually pay. I do, Ron. I'm working on learning how to control that though, because I just do it. And, I had an incident one time. I talked about it in one of my videos where I got like pushed back and I thought I was going to die. So I stopped doing it on purpose. All right, Deb. So you might be thinking this is so wrong. Like, I know that you're struggling so badly in so many areas right now, but what this card is saying is you're focusing on the wrong things. Oh, look at the flowers. They match my background. You're only seeing the negative. Even if you see like some of the positive, like you aren't able to see past right now. Number one, I feel like, and I mean this with no offense, it's coming from your team, not me. but I kind of feel it too. I feel like you're focusing too much on trying to fix and or heal someone that does not want to be fixed or healed. No matter how much this person says that they do, they are not ready. You got yourself into this situation. Unfortunately, I do feel like you were inadvertently bamboozled. I feel like somebody sold you a bill of goods and now you're stuck with just the bill of goods and bills, right? That's not to say it was all a lie, by the way. Now what you have to do is start focusing on yourself. Stop letting guilt push you back into, arguing with someone about changing something that they have full control over changing, right? At the very least, to take a step toward it. I can sit here all day and be like, man, I want people to stop me in the grocery store like other YouTubers and ask for my autograph and want to take pictures with me. But if I never got on YouTube and did anything and I just sat here watching TV all day, or if I went out and worked a regular job, how would that possibly be possible? You have to start doing for Deb and Deb only. And I know that sounds so selfish, but it's not. Just like I believe it was Smoochie, your cup is so empty, it's drier than the Sahara because even you are having trouble filling yourself up right now. But bliss can be yours. I don't know what your pregnancy situation is. I do feel like it's possible if it's possible. I don't know why else that would come up as a reminder of the little boy, and you know what I'm talking about. I feel like you just need to do for you. And you need to do it unapologetically, not like, I mean, yes, you have to make a conscious effort to like do stuff, but like do it with happiness and gratitude, right? No money. Okay, find something to do. Go for a walk in the woods. Do yoga, like whatever makes you happy. Dance around and clean while listening to 80s rock. Like do something that fills your soul up, whether someone else likes it or not. Because I also feel, and I've got a lot to say, but I'm going to, ball it up a little bit so we can move through this. You're being manipulated. There's a control factor here where like you have to wonder, if I do this, will X, Y, and Z get mad? If I do that, will it defend this person or offend? Sorry. Are they worrying about their actions bothering you? Because they're doing hurtful things and you're just doing things for yourself. I do feel like you were bamboozled, and I hate saying that, but this person's either going to change or they're not. You put a lot of time and effort into helping them with something. And I know for a fact because I helped you help them. When is your main concern going to be you? It needs to be now. So Ron says, just a quick question. Little bit, yes, I can. Absolutely. Can we trust people who remote view and say this happened? I see different remote viewers say different things about a particular case. That's because remote viewing is extremely hard. And a lot of people can't do it. It takes years of practice. I don't know. Like, I'm sure there are people who can naturally do it. I don't know any. It's like takes work. A lot of, particularly one person on YouTube that has a pretty big name, she ain't no remote viewer. I can tell by looking at people's energy, but most people can't. Look, you got to follow your instinct. Does the information sound right? How do you feel about the person in general? Ghost, who's next?
Next is Heather B.
And when I remote viewed and went into a base just to look around, it was scary. They have people who just go around remote viewing as like security to make sure no other remote viewers are there. Like they have security remote viewers remote viewing around the base to make sure that like a random remote viewer isn't popping in and looking around. Heather, I got you. I'm using wisdom of... Okay. Wisdom of the House of Night. Let me just grab the ones that fell, guys. Wisdom of the House of Night. Heather, you got obedience. Card number 48. Ron, don't get me wrong. Deirdre, you're next, honey. It can be done. It's just if you aren't born like to naturally do it, it takes years of practice. I feel like it's easy to say you're a remote viewer because I can be like, oh, I'm remote viewing something I looked up. It's in China and I see whatever's on my screen, right? So easy to do that, to put an earpiece in and have someone read you about something. People do that. There is a girl, I don't even know her. I never met her. I actually want to try to go on her show because she has a big name. I don't believe for 1 minute she's a real remote viewer. Pumpkin streusel with cream cheese. Oh my God. Thank you, Ghosty with the Mosty, for all your hard work here. Thank you, Smoochie. Heather, there are rules for everything. The sun rises and the moon sets, and they dance together in perfect steps. What rules are you considering when you ask your question? You will be sorry if you're going to break a rule that is in place to protect you and others. Even though you may not like authority right now, this is the time to obey what has already been set in motion. This is the time to learn the lay of the land and to follow the customs that keep things in order. Learn the steps of the dance before you attempt to change them to suit you. So this doesn't mean like let someone control you, right? Yeah, I don't know what I think he said. I think he said that he's having like issues with his nose. So Damien's father, his name was Jeffrey Michael Boren. He passed away. I got his initials here and I got this. It means eternity. So I made him get this. So we had matching. And then on this arm, he had a cartoon devil holding a pitchfork and it said my real name underneath. He was my best friend since I was like 11 years old. I'm glad I got it on my heart though. I regretted it for so long. And then he passed and I was like, all right, like I'm so glad I got this. All right. Miss Heather, this doesn't mean like let someone control you or tell you what to do. There is one situation though that I feel like you may be walking into, or you could be already in it, but I see you walking into it that could make you very uncomfortable. It's because you're learning new ideas. I feel like there are new people in your life or a new person in your life who's just different from anyone else around you. And I feel like this makes you uncomfortable because for all the chaos you deal with, it's like you do have this routine, even if the chaos is a part of it, right? There's someone new or something new coming in that you don't feel good about. Here's the thing. It's not that our intuition is ever off. I just feel like it's not your instinct or intuition. It's just your energy. You feel uncomfortable. Be cautious before you attempt to like debate someone on something or not follow the rules. If you're thinking about doing something that's a little bit illegal, like just make sure you're on point. In the next 2 weeks specifically, don't do anything that could be considered illegal. Don't do anything that could be like a really bad choice. I feel for some reason like you could get in the next 2 weeks like in trouble for something. Now I'm seeing a little bit clearer where it's like someone's doing something to you or does something to you and you retaliate and then you're the one that gets in trouble. This is very chaotic. This is a disaster. Heather, please stay focused. Do not react or respond in rage. Do not give that reactive abuse reaction to the narcissist, which I know you have one in your life. I don't know who it is, but I've seen this son of a gun many times in your energy. But I see you pulling away. I see you escaping. And I think this person is finally going to snap about it. Just keep your chin up. Remember who you are. Remember that giving them a reaction is exactly what they want because it's the way of manipulating your emotions. If they see you snap or if they see you cry, they know, oh, I still can control her. Ghost, are you okay? Heather, just please be really careful because I do see something having to do with like the cops or like something. Just stay out of it as best you can. And again, don't give anyone any reason. Just in the next 2 weeks. After that, we'll go from there. I think you're doing so well that people are having a hard time. They're jealous. You know, they're entitled. So if they feel like they're entitled to your time or they're entitled to your body or they're entitled to XYZ from you and you've decided not to give that energy anymore because you know who they are and what they're about and what they are, there is going to come a time where things just blow up. And I feel like that time is coming, and how you handle this is going to determine a big chunk of your near future. Who's next? What would Gemma do? Yes, I want that on shirts and I want everyone to wear them.
Deirdre is next, if she's still here.
I have arrived. Deirdre, are you still here, sweetie?
And then timestamps.
Let's do Deirdre, even if you're welcome, Heather. And we'll just timestamp her if she's not here.
Okie dokies.
Because she's the last one anyway. Yep. Almost 10:30. I used to go to like 11:30, but it takes a lot out of me to do this stream. I know you would, Miss Smoochie. I hope y'all would. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. But the problem is every time I get merch, it doesn't sell. So I can't keep anyone in business, including myself, because you have to pay for the shirts, you have to pay for the print, you have to pay for the shipping, and I don't have anyone willing to do that for me anymore as like a favor, because the person that was doing it shut down. She had to for her own personal reasons. Everything, not just me. But if I can get someone to do merch, that is one of the first things I'm getting. I had a beautiful merch line. It's just nothing sold. T-shirt king, drop ship tees. I will, definitely. Because if I can get them cheap, I can sell them cheap. I can put them in one of those bubble bags and send them off, and it's like $3. I'm going to look into it. Even if I just get that. Just that. All right, Deirdre. Print it. I'll buy it. All right, baby UFO. I'm going to hold you to that. Maybe I'll get like a certain amount made, because I think that would be so cute. Look for reaction videos, I hope, in the near future. All right, Miss Deirdre. So Deirdre, I'm not going to put her personal info out, but she does work with recovering addicts. She works her booty off. She works 2 jobs, both involving that. And she's a miracle worker. And I just love and respect her very, very much. I want to just, there's a demand, tea shops. Okay. I'm going to check it all out. I want to do like again, I'll get like 25 made. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. I can pay for it in advance, hopefully. Guys, don't forget, if you can, donate to PayPal and Cash App my hotel. I really, really need to go to Power Unity, and I hate e-begging. It's hard for me right now, but I'm not contracted. All right, Deirdre, the Morrigan, Death and Magic. I love her. Card number 38 in the upright position. Thank you, Miss Julie girl. Empowerment message. Deirdre, consider your life a magical gift and your experience of it a beautiful opportunity to leave the world a better place. You give that gift back when death comes and ends your time on this plane. Experiences, relationships, projects, and ever long cherished dreams are all subject to the natural laws of death and the magic of the Celtic goddess Morrigan. Now is the time for you to let certain parts of your life die and recognize this process as something to celebrate as well as to mourn. Let go with love and gratitude. Leave your fears behind, for in death there is great magic, as nothing can ever be truly destroyed. From the ashes of the old, a new life and new dreams will come to be. Face this time of dying and death with love and courage. Be willing to be empty. Soon the goddess Morrigan will fill you up with magic, and a new world will be born for you. This is her gift for you when you surrender your resistance and allow things to be as they are. So, Deirdre, you are holding on to something. You're holding on to something for dear life. And I feel like the reason you're doing this is because if you lose what or whoever this is, you're like, well, what am I going to do? So, for example, say you lose one of your jobs. You're not going to be able to make, I'm just using this as an example. You can't make ends meet. You can't quit your other job because you work both jobs, but in the same place under different people. Yeah, absolutely, Ron. More so than you guys see. A lot of people help me PayPal, Cash App off stream as well, like, and Jules. And so it's a lot of help you guys don't see. And I appreciate all of it from my heart. Deirdre, I feel like there is something big that's changing that you are really struggling with. Like, you don't want it to happen, but not because you don't want it to happen. Like, you would be fine with it if you knew that it was going to work out okay. Here's the thing. I just did a video on toxic positivity. This is not that. This is just, you're putting the work in. You're putting the time and the effort. So this major, major change is something you can embrace. Take a leap of faith and let the universe catch you. Let God catch you, because I know you believe in that. Understand that every major change happens for a reason. This is a tower moment. You could feel like you're losing everything. But the fact of the matter is, you're gaining more than you ever had. But you have to surrender. If you fight against it, it's going to happen anyway, and then you're going to end up in shambles with no next step. If you embrace it, like, what do you got for me? You're going to start getting downloads and ideas of like how this is going to play out in the long term. Who are my timestamps? I know Tennille, KC,
and Mike J. You promised him.
I was thinking, I'm like, who did I tell? RJ is going to freak out. I ate almost all his candies. Actually, there's a ton in here. All right, Mike J. Oracle of the Universe. Gemma is dead balls. You guys are too much. I'm going to be thinking about that all week now. Jules, you are my people, girl. I adore you. I really do. So many of you, but Jules and I have, yeah, I feel you, girl. You are my people. Mike J, you got the constellation and galaxy Andromeda, the card of sacrifice, card number 13. Good number. These are so hard to read because look, it's on black paper and you think that'd be easy, but it's actually not. This is a beautiful card too. Look at her. Mike, you can be of service to others without sacrificing everything of yourself. Service doesn't need to mean subservience. You can learn to sit with the discomfort of others being unhappy with you. Take personal responsibility and don't shift blame. Some of your biggest goals mean some sort of sacrifice, and you should weigh this up carefully. You cannot always fix the problems of others. You may need to set and enforce, I'll say, tough boundaries. Beware of hubris. Andromeda is the name of both a constellation and a galaxy. The Andromeda Galaxy is a large spiral galaxy located within the constellation Andromeda and is the nearest major galaxy to our own. The other name for the constellation is the Chained Maiden, referring to the princess chained to a rock as a sacrifice. It was the terrible scapegoating of this daughter and the injustice of having her be sacrificed to atone for someone else's hubris and deeds that makes this an iconic story. The lack of taking personal responsibility has consequences here, and we are warned against sacrifices that are not weighed fairly. Andromeda was the beautiful daughter of the king Cepheus and Queen Cassiopeia of Ethiopia, the land south of Egypt, now modern Ethiopia. Cassiopeia unwisely boasted that Andromeda was more beautiful than all of the Nereids, who are the sea nymphs that accompany the god Poseidon. The Nereids were particularly beautiful, and Poseidon considered this boast not only an insult to them and but that such hubris by a mortal needed to be punished. Poseidon set the sea monster Cetus to wage savage fury along the seas of Ethiopia and flooded the coastal lands, causing thousands of deaths. The king went to consult the oracle of Ammon to ask what he should do to right this wrong. The oracle told him that he had to sacrifice his daughter to the monster, and then all harassment and deaths would stop. Andromeda was chained to a great rock where the monster frequented as she awaited her death. The Greek hero Perseus was near the coast at the time. He had just killed Medusa and was carrying her head with him as proof. He was wearing some magical winged sandals borrowed from the god Hermes, which enabled him to fly. As he looked down along the edge of the sea, he saw Andromeda and at first took pity on her. As he got closer, he was taken by her beauty and questioned her on her predicament. She told him why she was chained there, and he swore to rescue her. He traveled to her father and negotiated her freedom and hand in marriage if he was to kill the monster. Using the magical sword he used to slay Medusa, he battled the monster in a tough and bloody battle. When he prevailed, he flew back to the king's castle with his princess and claimed her as his wife. Wedding plans were made, yet not everyone was happy. Andromeda was originally slated for a marriage to her uncle, Phineus, who had planned to kill Perseus at the wedding. Phineus enlisted a small but fierce group of men to help, all with the king's blessing. As the wedding began, Perseus saw the men readying to fight and pulled out the head of Medusa and showed it to them all. Of course, anyone who gazed upon Medusa would be turned to stone, and this magic worked even upon her death. This is really long. Sorry, you guys. All the attackers, including the king and his brother, were turned to stone. The couple were not only free to go, but were the new king and queen if they wished. Andromeda and Perseus lived an interesting life and had 7 famous sons. The goddess Athena, always with a soft spot for heroes and their families, raised up Andromeda into the sky as a constellation after her death as a reward for their service and for the slaying of Cetus. The constellation contains the stars of Perseus, of course, together forever. Oh my God, together forever. So romantical. Your words of power. I can serve myself and others without subservience. Someone is going to try to take advantage of you. Mike J. I feel like you do help people. Like when someone asks, you go out of your way. I think, again, we depend that most human beings are going to be like, they're going to go along with it, right? They're going to go with the flow. I do feel like you're doing too much. You are sacrificing so much for someone or something that is not reciprocating the energy. So Mike J, in the next 2 weeks, don't give so much of yourself. Start saying no. Even if you can help somebody, just say no and see their reaction. And this is how you're going to figure out who is trying to take advantage of you. Because any normal person, like if you say, I just can't do that today, I'm sorry, a normal person would be like, oh, that sucks. All right, talk to you later. Or if you say you're sick, oh, I hope you feel better. But a manipulator, someone trying to get as much as they can from you, a user, is going to either start like, I know this game well, like start crying. I've seen it happen so many times. Like start crying, like, oh, what am I going to do? Or they get really pissed. And that's how you can start to understand, who's in it to get whatever they can and who really needs help from you. Don't give money to anybody in the next 2 weeks. And I had to give that message last week too, which is really weird. Okay. KC, I'm going to use Myths and Mermaids. I want to get one of those foot baths that sucks all the toxins out. It shows the water at the end, and it's like mud. Worse than mud. Because it pulls all of the toxins out of like your organs. I was going to say your auricles. Through your feet into this little tub. Also, Nicki Minaj came out with shoes. Okay, thanks. I want them, but they're like, with 70% off, they're still like $117. All right, Miss KC, what's up, war criminal? I'm so sorry I've ending rerouted. Oh, okay. I got you, Blue Cross Rose. War criminal, so good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I can't believe we went this long tonight, but then again, I can. All right. Tiki Mermaid, card number 13. No, it's this special thing. It pulls, it's hard to explain. You got to look it up. It's a foot like spa, but it pulls the toxins in your body, your organs specifically, but in your body out of your feet. So the whole foot bath turns into this disgusting, oh, I want to do it so bad. All right, Miss KC, again, card number 13. Below the tranquil surface of the azure waveless sea, brews an ever-rising tempest, shaking, quaking to break free, stifling, sweaty, hot, and torrid, even paradise feels horrid. Remove the cork, let loose the steam, release your passions with a scream. A tropical beauty lounges before a tiki god and an offering of fresh fruit, seemingly unaware of a volcano smoldering in the distance. In spite of her lush surroundings, the mermaid's countenance reflects internal dissatisfaction. Divination message, KC, get ready to erupt. Powerful forces have been building up inside of you for some time now. You can feel them bubbling beneath the surface, but you have somehow managed to keep them bottled up. This cannot last much longer, and sooner or later you'll have to let loose. Anger, frustration, heartache, despair. You lost your husband of 45 years. Like, I saw this coming. Everything you have been squashing is poised to erupt in a major, big way. Like the volcano, this is a volatile situation, one that cannot be contained or controlled. What's inside is determined to come out. Such a loss of control can be scary and unpredictable, but try not to be alarmed. Once the ashes clear away, this breakthrough will ultimately bring you a deeper sense of well-being and peace. Yeah, blue, but it's $99 plus shipping. Like, I'm never going to be able to. Well, I don't want to put that out there. I won't be able to afford that for a while. All right. Casey, stating the obvious, right? Girl, I love you with compassion. I can't imagine what you're going through. And I've said this to you, but I'm here if you want to vent. I'm here. The thing is, I know you need to be strong, and I know you have things that you have to do despite your grief. You have to start processing other emotions, though. Guilt. I'm sure you have some guilt. It would be strange if you didn't. You had an amazing relationship with your husband, but we all can look back and see, especially 45 years, don't dwell on any of that stuff, because your husband definitely isn't. We don't feel that kind of stuff on the other side. There's no negativity there. I just feel like you need to let it out. Don't wait until you just snap on somebody. Cry. Cleanse the room like we talked about. Let yourself grieve, Casey. I know, because I saw it with my mom when my stepfather passed. It was just autopilot. She didn't cry for weeks. One day she was sitting there with her iPhone and she was showing me a picture of my stepfather and RJ that she had taken while he held up his police badge and signed RJ in, like, what's it called? When you get accepted into something, he inducted him into the police, right? My mom didn't realize iPhone has live photos. And when she hit the photo to show me, she heard my stepfather talking to RJ, the live photo. She lost it. I don't want you to lose it in rage. And I don't want you to lose it like when you're driving one day and you see something else that reminds you of him. The oath. Yes. Thank you. So I don't understand what you're saying, Smoochie. It sounds like kind of like you're offending me. I don't think you are, but it sounds like you're telling me if I sit in a tub, the tub's going to be toxic. What's going on? Casey, I'm sorry. I am very serious in this. Schedule time to grieve, girl. My mom was like autopilot. Okay, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. She did not stop. Good night, Jules. Thank you so much for donating, and thank you for coming in and being you. Sworn in. That's the word. Sworn in, taking an oath. She wasn't expecting it. Casey, you have to. I know it sounds ridiculous, and you're going to be like, Gemma, what the F are you talking about? It's your team. Put time aside. Even if you go in the room, if you go in your own, whatever you need to do, you have to let this out. Talk to him out loud. Scream at him. If you have anger, which would be normal, anything you're feeling would be normal, because there's no guidebook. There's no handbook. But you have to let it out. Deb, girl, I will talk to you soon. I love you. I'm not back to work until Monday. RJ was off yesterday. Today, he has off on the 14th. He has a half day on the 10th and the 11th. He has a half day on the 28th and the 29th. He has a half day on the 17th. October madness. Lotus girl. I'm using Alice in Wonderland Oracle, and then I am done, though. I'm going to get into my jammies, do some yoga, and eat. Ghost, if I hop on Fortnite, if I have time, I'll let you know. Thank you for all your help tonight. You were quieter than usual. Yeah, Deb, I am very glad you made it. All right, last one, Miss Lotus girl. Guys, keep praying for the victims of Helene. I don't see our government helping them, and, makes me pretty angry. Tennille is one of my best friends in the world, like a sister to me, and she got so lucky, she didn't lose her house, but she literally said there are bodies in the street that the town or the government of the town or whatever are threatening to just bulldoze into a pile. You can't do that. All of those people will have at least a piece of them earthbound because of that. Those towns will be haunted. Lotus, I want to be a queen. Card number 33, stating your sovereignty, declaring freedom, and passing a test. By the way, I did get your message. I got it right as I was getting ready, so I'll respond to it tomorrow morning. Oh, this is black amethyst. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like regular amethyst. I mean, it doesn't look like regular amethyst, but it is. It's black amethyst. It has a purple tint to it. It's like one of my favorite pieces. Ron, absolutely, yes. Lotus girl, I want to be a queen in the reverse. I don't want to be anybody's prisoner. I want to be a queen. So you will when you've crossed the next brook, said the White Knight. When Alice declares she does not want to be anybody's prisoner, she is establishing her self-determination. She is a free person, even in the strange world she finds herself within. She will not allow herself to be imprisoned, enslaved, or taken into captivity, even if her incarceration was to be comfortable. She declares her intent strongly. She wants to be a queen, a ruler in her own right, a person who has power, influence, and will take charge of herself in her own world. And she will embrace all the responsibility and scrutiny that comes with that role. When this card comes to you, you're being asked to free yourself from any captivity, enslavement, or imprisonment. You do not wish to be anybody's prisoner. You were born to be free. It is time to liberate yourself from any shackles and embrace your innate power. You also want to go further than freedom. You're seeking power. You are ready to become the queen and make your own choices in your own way. You are set to rule your world, indeed to shape your world. You will no longer ask for permission to come and go. You will declare, make the rules, and decide what takes place in your dominion. Instead of fearing your power, you will embrace it and the enormous energy that comes with stepping into your own potential. Divination, raising your status. You're taking charge of your life, making decisions for yourself, and setting rules and boundaries that work for you. Declaring your independence, becoming powerful, influential, wanting to embrace your potential. Girl, this sounds like me. So, Lotus, I just feel like there is a breaking point that we all come to. You're there. I feel like you've just been helping other people, dealing with other people's wrath, misery, anger, depression, and like you're taking this energy on yourself because you're an empath. You're so physically ill that you can barely get out of bed half the time, but you still don't take a break. You can't take a break. Girl, just like I said to KC, but in a different way, she's going to explode in grief. You are going to just explode. It's okay. I feel like once you let it out, maybe the people around you will understand that you need time for you. Things sometimes need to wait, okay? Tennille, you're physically ill. A lot of your physical illness, I can't say all of it, but a lot of your physical illness comes from the fact that you are taking on everyone else's energy. You're not cleansing yourself. You're not taking time out to connect with the earth or the moon or whatever it is that you do. Let yourself explode. Enforce your boundaries. If you have an idea about something, and even if Porky goes against you, like, do not let them. Anybody, not Porky, not anybody. You follow your instinct and intuition, because every time you've gone along with the program, you've always ended up screwed. I know that for a fact. Stop going with the program. Go with your own program. Guys, I love y'all. I am out. No video Monday. I did not have time. Dr. Wednesday, RJ off yesterday, RJ off today, RJ with me tomorrow. Sunday, going to get a haircut, hopefully, and doing my thing. So no videos Monday. I am sorry about that. I wanted to do a stream relating to the video I did on toxic positivity. So what I'm going to do is do that next week. Don't forget afternoon talk on Tuesday. Wednesday nights, spooky time with Ghostdragonzw. Thursday, Laura might come because she didn't do this week, but I'm not sure with her schedule. It might be the week after. And then we'll be back here on Friday at 7:15. Deirdre, if you're listening, I did schedule in 2 Mondays from now to come speak. I just need the time again. So love you guys. Please donate to PayPal or Cash App if you can. Every tiny bit helps. I don't care if it's $1. And those of you that always do or did, thank you. Those of you who can't, just like, comment, keep supporting in those ways. It means a lot. It makes the biggest difference. It's not just about the money, guys. Love you so much. Bye. Ghost, I'll talk to you in a little bit.